Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to another stream. It's Thursday night, and yeah, I'm back. So, some of you may have watched my stream from Tuesday, which detailed my analysis of SPC. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that stream at the very least. And because I basically threw myself into another tournament straight after that, which was the World Cup held in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Today's stream is also going to be another analysis stream of that event as well. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you probably already know. It didn't do particularly great. I finished in 15th position, and yeah, I think that actually might have been in the bottom half of the division. I think they were like 27. They were 27 players or 35 or something. I can't quite remember how many players there were. But yeah, I didn't do quite so well. And yeah, I mean, I've already went through all the games. And I didn't play any worse than, again, in terms of numbers wise, I did not play any worse or anything markedly worse than I did at SPC or even in Albany, where I did finish top 5 in both of those events. There were some moments of bad luck, I guess. Some games, where you kind of just have to kind of sit back and just watch your opponent play. There was a lot more of that in this event. And yeah, it just so happens to be in a big tournament where, all the big dogs are there and I can't really compete. I'm not really at that... to be in a position to be able to win enough games. So yeah, I'm gonna go through some of the games that during that tournament as well. I'm not gonna go quite through as many as I did yesterday on Tuesday, or maybe I normally do, because to be honest, a lot of it is kind of the same thing over and over again, where it's just like, okay, I am playing one of the best moves, or I'm playing top moves constantly, but my opponent is just coming out with bingos or just lots of high scoring things, and I don't have anything to respond with. Again, not gonna be saying that I play it absolutely perfectly and couldn't have done anything better. There's obviously ways I could have done better, and some games I probably should have won, which I lost, and many games which I pulled out the fire somehow to kind of keep myself afloat. But yeah, we're going to go through some of these games right now. So I have my score sheets all here, and I have my World Cup scorecard, which is not so. I mean, you can't really see it; it's kind of a weird color, but all my games are all here. And we're going to go through 7 of the games today, maybe. I don't know. Maybe, I don't think we have much time for much more, but 7 games is probably what we're going to be doing. Not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. Yes. But yeah, as again, I didn't play much. I didn't play any worse than I did in the other events. It just so happens to be a bit of a bad run, but they come and go. That's just how it is. That's just part and parcel of the game. So yeah, we're gonna kick things off. I'm just gonna kind of go through. We're basically gonna kick things off with game 6. I'm not gonna start with game 1, but just to kind of go through. Wait a minute, I need to find my score sheet. Which one's here? Okay, so let's. Well, actually, I can just do this for the time being. So yeah, the first game I'm playing is Fidelis Olotu. Got pretty lucky. That one was a game I definitely got very lucky. I won by 271 points, so I got off to a really good start against one of my good friends from the UK. So that was a relatively straightforward game. And then game 2, I played against Bob Lin. Didn't play my best, so to speak, but by halfway through the game was kind of out of reach already. I was about 100 behind. Had to try and make things happen. I did get a bingo towards the end, but it only narrowed the spread, so I still lost by 81 against Bob Lin in game 2. Game 3, I was against a9nt. He had 3 bingos in the first 4 moves, so again, not much I can really do there. But even with that, towards the end of the game, I actually was level with him. I managed to get a bingo at the start, and then got like a 50-point play, and then another bingo for 70, so that's what's about level. But then he got Hazels down for 68 towards the end. So yeah, not much I could do there in that respect. And in that game, I actually only picked up 2 S's. All the other power tasks were his, so couldn't really do much there. Game 4, I beat Puneet Sharma by 100 points. This one was relatively lucky here. I actually had to leave a phony 4 on the board, PICO, in order to bingo for 86 points. So he left. Well, he played PICO. The C was floating, and I had EEEINX blank. So I played Exigence for 86. I had no other bingo playable. I had no other good score, so I let his 24-point play come down. I scored 86. So I think that was the right play. Put me in good stead. End up winning by 100 points. So all good. So 2-2 so far. And then game 5, I played against Jesse Day. Again, I don't know how you... I mean, you cannot say this is not unlucky, but he started with Epistle for 74. I drew out the bag. I drew out the bag. A-I-I-I-I-O-O. So, of course, exchange 6. I actually keep an I. I decided to do that instead. And then he plays through the E of Epistle, outgazes for 108 points. So I'm already 182 points down, 182 to 0 down before I even put anything on the board. So that was that, but I ended up losing by 58, so I guess that's not too bad. Hello to Ancient Cosmographer. Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you guys enjoyed his Infinity Wars games and some gameplay, I believe, earlier on in the stream. Hope your stream went well. We have not got into the World Cup analysis just yet. I was just kind of going through like the first 5 games. I'm about to go through game 6, which is actually against David Whitley. Pretty interesting game, but kind of a bit of a sign of things to come, I guess, potentially. But yeah, at this stage, I'm 2-3. Not doing particularly great. But yeah, let's go and have a look at how this panned out. All right, all the highs in the chat. Thank you. Love to everybody. Immediate complaining just as we arrive. Exactly. That's what I'm here for. I've got to complain somehow. This is exactly why I have a Twitch channel, just so I can complain. Okay, so let's talk about this game. But it was just kind of like a game where I was like, well, just have to do the best I can and see what happens. So this is actually my first rack here. Decided to play Fon, F-O-N, keep the SQU together as well, so that was fine there. So I play Fon, Central, so it's all good. He plays Vom, V-O-M, above Fon for 19 points. And yeah, so I kept NQSU, and I drew what I drew these 3. I drew TVX. So it's you know, it is what it is. So I played Souk for 39. So not many other things here really score as many points. I could play Tux, but I think getting rid of the Q here is worth it. Then he plays Pill through here. And then I have this rack here. So yeah, not many things I can really do in this situation. I could obviously play through the L as well, but it opens up a bunch of stuff. So like Luxt opens up the triple, but then there's also the X down here, which gives away an easy like 30 points, and I'm still holding the V. So yeah, I decided to play Unvexed and Oft, which again, I'm actually showing this through Quackle, but I Macondoed my games, and Macondo does like my play of Unvexed as the best play. So just gets rid of everything, scores a decent amount, doesn't really give away too much with the triple here, so it's not that bad. So that was the best play also. And then David plays a9nt here. So we played that. And then here is actually probably the biggest, actually it is the biggest mistake that I made in this entire game, and not necessarily the easiest thing to find or even realize that I had at the time. I quite quickly played Oho underneath Unvexed, just because I thought it was the most intuitive play to make. But I missed a much better play here. Again, well, I was saying in this game I didn't really make too many mistakes in this game, but this one was definitely one the biggest mistake that I made. So I played Oho here, but what the engine wants me to do is to actually play down from the N, play Woodhen, which anagrams to Hoedown, which doesn't quite score quite as much, but Woodhen here keeping an E for 36 rather than Oho keeping Weed. I know some people might like Weed, but I don't want to keep that. But Oho, yeah, significantly worse than Woodhen. So yeah, that's one move I didn't see. And again, you could always argue if I played the right move here, who knows what would have happened. But yeah, so I did Oho. Again, it's not the best play. After simulation, it's actually about 14 points worse. So yeah, it's quite a bit of a miss. So that's that one. And then David plays a bingo here. So he played riddles here for 72. So he now goes slightly ahead. I'm relatively close to a bingo here. I'm not a million miles away. I'm getting close, but there's no bingo playable here. I was actually very close to playing something like Wage down next to riddles, and contemplating a few things with the K here. So yeah, I was thinking about those things until I realized, wait a minute, why didn't I think about griddles? And then I played griddles. I played Waged and griddles for 46. So again, that would have been a big mistake if I didn't see that. So yeah, took a bit more time to work it out. Got that right. And that's the best move according to the analyzer again. And then David plays Oriole for 22 points. So he puts himself slightly back ahead again. And then I have this rack. There's only one bingo win bingo here with this rack. And it was just a matter of like, do I play it on row 2 or row 3? And yeah, I was like, well, what would, and then I was like, well, what would Macondo do? And I think Macondo would take the points, and it does. It wants me to take the points. I mean, this is Quackle, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, as you can see here, after while simulating, it is a good 2.5–3% better. So even despite opening up more things here, it's a good 7 points more, and that's worth a lot. So okay, so that was best. And David plays AU, which is definitely a Conan, I believe. 33 points. So I'm still slightly ahead. And this was a great move for me. Absolutely amazing move for me, because this move kind of distracted what my best play was going to be. And if you look in the bottom left corner, you'll see what the best one would be. Is 75 points for object. There was really no way that David was ever going to go down here unless he just had a move like object to go to play, or had randomly had a bingo that would end with that would fit underneath this K. So I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, I like to draw those things out the bag and keep IN. So that's I'm in good shape for the game going forward. So now I'm actually about 100 ahead. This is good. So after about 2 or 3 minutes, David ends up playing something, and he just plays this. He just plays seaboard. So I was like, oh, okay. I can only imagine that maybe he didn't see it, or maybe he just wasn't sure, because I think you can do T-board as well. So you could potentially be like thinking, oh, is it just C-board or T-board, or maybe it's both, and then he, in the end, comes to the right decision of playing C-board. So instead of being 100 ahead, I'm now only 5 ahead now. And just so you know, with the scores above, on the top of the screen, it's player 1 with a name, and then player 2 on the name. It's the same in that order, not me on the first one all the time. Okay, so the next one here, I have this rack here. Okay, I'm obviously looking to get rid of the F and an I. Initially saw like fair at the top corner, but then I realized that I can play something through this K, and I find the best play here, 39 points as well. So another top move according to Macondo, significantly best, keeping me around 50-ish, 40, 50-ish ahead. And then he quite simply just puts down Zig. Easy move. 53 points. So now I'm back behind again. And then I actually have a bingo on my rack here which doesn't fit. So Chanty, unfortunately doesn't fit. Doesn't quite fit like above seaboard or anything. There's not enough places to play anything through. So yeah, I mean, I was before David played Zig, I was actually thinking of just playing Chansey, which was actually going to be a very high scoring play. But in the end, I decided not to do that. I just realized, well, kind of thinking that this spot up here is actually going to be a huge spot if he is holding an E or a D or something like that. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take out this spot. I'm just going to play tire, keeping ACHN, and I could probably play something through the E or the R, maybe as a bingo, or even just play something, maybe a parallel to object or something. Might be fine. But even though this inconspicuous move of tire actually scores 50 points, so it was definitely worth it, I think, there. So now I put myself ahead again. And then David plays Wero, W-E-R-O, underneath Namaste. 4 points behind now, he is. And then I have this rack. So I'm a bit short on vowels here. You can see that there are 8 vowels, 4 consonants left. So I'm like, okay. There's a floating E at the bottom of the board. There's an R as well. So maybe the chances of David bingoing might not be as high as you think, as you first might think, based on. I mean, if you just have a quick glance of what's left in the bag, you're like, okay, well, he's gonna bingo probably. But looking at the vowel to consonant ratio and that there's an E, one of the big floaters is an E. Maybe the chances of bingoing maybe not quite as high as you think. In any case, it might have been better to block this E. But I had a huge score here. I had a huge score in between Wero and Seaboard, so I had Chap here, and that leaves 2 in the bag. And this scores 45 points. So I'm like, okay, I can go about 50 ahead if he doesn't bingo, he's gonna have to like fish off one tile. I don't know how he's gonna fish one tile, and because he's gonna make a very blatant opening, or we're gonna fish two tiles, and then I'm just gonna know what he's gonna have, what he's gonna do, and I'm still gonna be quite far ahead. So like that, let's have a look at what the choices are here, and analyze what might happen going forward. So, chap is the move that I made, and it's obviously near the top, but it's not quite at the top because it likes hepcat a lot as well, which plays through the E and actually blocks off a lot of stuff. So it's a kind of a weird situation here, where it's like, do you actually sacrifice 26 points to block this bingo lane? It's not something that I actually even came up with. Because I'm actually not that far ahead. How does the opponent score without being yeah, that is also a good point. So it's going to be very difficult for my opponent to even do anything if I do block this. So something like hepcat might give away points underneath. And hepcat does leave one in the bag. So the problem here is that I'm only scoring 19. Again, you kind of assume. I mean, maybe Quackle is not necessarily thinking that, or maybe assuming that that maybe he is holding an ass or a blank or whatever. There's no inference here. But with hepcat, it's maybe possible that leaving one in the bag, my opponent could score something to the triple for like 25 points or 30 points. Well, maybe not 30 points, but something around 25 points maybe, be about a level, and then have two tiles to maybe go out. It's also possible that something onto this J of object as well. It's gonna be an interesting kind of way to kind of outrun your opponent here, because I am keeping two consonants into a very vowel heavy bag. But at the same time, I'm also kind of picking 5 tiles out of here, which could be like two I's, an A, could be a U, could be anything here, which might completely derail me. But I could also just draw some of the constants as well, and make bingoing even more difficult for him. So yeah, this is actually a move. It's a very interesting move because it was not something that I had even kind of thought about. Or even at this moment in time, I was like, I think you just have to take the 45 points, but maybe I don't necessarily need to. So it's gonna be tough. And chap doesn't put me in far enough in front to be like, okay, I can still outrun you no matter what. So maybe it was more of a situational thing. If I did even think about this, maybe if I was about 30 ahead or something, then maybe chap might be in the right play. But maybe if it was, if it's basically level now, then maybe I'd have to go a bit more defensive. Why is cheap so much more worse than hepcat? It's a good question. Actually, I think that when I ran this through Macondo, it liked cheap best. That was actually the best play, and then chap was the second best play. So I think that I'm not 100% sure, but maybe it was that. Maybe I might be misremembering that. Maybe hepcat was actually best. But yeah, again, this was just a very interesting situation. I just didn't even realize it at the time. I wasn't thinking about it, and again, moments like this, can separate, the best from the very best, or the good from the best. I just didn't even notice that this was potentially an option. Again, I just kind of saw the dollar signs, saw chap as 45 points, and just went for it. So yeah, that was kind of the game defining move potentially. So I played chap, and then he ends up. Well, he has this rack. Wait, is that right? No, that's not right. So yeah, he has this rack. So he obviously is a bit, you know, Val heavy, but it's got the S and the blank. Again, I don't know if the engine would. I mean, the engine would definitely rate my chances a lot lower if it knew that it had an S or a blank. And I kind of had that in mind anyway. But in any case, especially for David at this moment, there is still, I mean, he's still 49 points behind, so he does need to find the best bingo here. And even then, I mean, even if he doesn't find the best bingo here, he actually isn't a lock to win. So if you generate the choices of bingos playable, there actually aren't that many. There's only 4 playable bingos, and actually out of them only 2 kind of unique words in terms of where to play those. So air radios and Diodaras are the only 2 playable bingos here, and they don't even play through the E. So I needed to play through the E to block them both. And if you kind of simulate this from here, what gives you the best chance? I mean, it doesn't actually, it's not surprising that air radios for 77 through the I is the winningest play, but the difference between air radios and say the other playable bingos is quite big. It's like 25% or so, just because you don't score in anywhere near enough points, and it's possible for me to outrun him going into the end game. So yeah, a bit of an interesting kind of 2 moves that were played. And David did kind of talk to me saying, oh, I was going to play air radios here. But then I was like, wait a minute, why don't I just play air radios through the I? And that's actually what he did. So he did find the best play here. That's for 77 points. And the real annoying thing for me was that I had this rack. And I have a 7-2, I have Trining, but most importantly, he actually ends up blocking Integrin through this E, which, of course, if he played whatever bingo he played, he would have blocked something anyway. But yeah, I wasn't really expecting to draw into a bingo. But again, there might have been chances where he may not have had a blank or an S, or may have just had one of them, or maybe had an extra vowel and couldn't bingo, and then I would have been able to bingo myself. So there's things in that situation that could have happened. But either way, I think I was saying this yesterday, even though I go into the end game like 70% chance to win, I actually have no way of winning this game. So yeah, I play tiring for 23 and play that, and then he goes out himself. So he goes out with Dewey for 6 points, and that was it. So this was game 6. I lose 457 to 470. Kind of a bit of a relatively slow start to the game, and then things just kind of exploded after a while. So it was yeah, it was a game that I was kind of comfortably ahead at one point. Ended up losing. So that put me down to a 2-4 record. But again, I think for most of the moves I didn't really do too much wrong. It was mainly Woodhen early on, and then probably at the end Hepcat or even Cheap just to block the E. But again, when I went through the engine with Macondo, it didn't think that chat was really a mistake per se. It was actually a very, very slight mistake. it only like hemorrhaged maybe like a few tenths of a percent in terms of win percentage. So again, I don't think you can really like say beat yourself up too much about those kind of things, but more kind of say from a more of a perfectionist point of view, the fact that I didn't even notice or even see that Hepcat or anything through the E would have been a good enough play, even though it scored a lot less than Chap, is really the thing that kind of gets me. I didn't even notice. So why did I not notice that? What if you assume S blank on the opponent's rack? Maybe we can have a look. Okay, let me assume. Okay, let's run through this simulation again, but with S blank on opponent's rack. Okay, so it still doesn't like. Yeah, it really doesn't like Chap whatsoever because it knows that it's much stronger. So it's at the moment it's about 7% behind, 8% behind, something like that. So there's a bit more of a gap if you assume S blank. At the same time, like my opponent just played Zig and played Wero. I mean, I don't know if you can really assume that he has an S and a blank on his rack. Maybe you could assume maybe one of the two. Again, there's still a decent number of tiles left in the bag, so like he might just not have one of those things. Again, you could also assume maybe he has like 4 or 5 owls. But yeah, opponent always has S blank. I mean, in this tournament, yeah, my opponent did always have S blank. And you'll see that soon. But yeah, it doesn't like it as much. It's a bit more of a distance between the two. There's about 12% now. Okay. All right, so that was game 6, the penultimate game of day 1. And then I ended up playing Jeff Theveno in the last game as well. I managed to win by 15 points. Narrow victory there, thanks to a bingo on my part. Towards the middle of the game, which was 94 points. So that was that. And I also got double blank by him too, so this will be a feature going forward. Okay, and then start day 2. I was playing at BJ Premore, who I've never played before, and he was beating a lot of top players, and he also beat me too. So yeah, again, I was kind of sitting there just watching my opponent play. I bingoed on move number 9. Where in the first 2 moves he bingos the re-raise 74 points, then has D-waxes out of nowhere for 97. And then I bingo. Well, he also gets Vainist for 83. I get my bingo for 91 points, but then straight after that he has both blanks, plays Colander through a floating tile, so end up losing by 72. Actually, it could have been a lot worse. Up 200. Wow, that's a lot of points to lose from. But yeah, not much I can really do in that game. If it's about as unwinnable as they come in my book. So that was game 8. I'm down to 3 and 5. And then randomly, I was told I'm going to be on stream. Like, wait, why am I on stream? I'm 3 and 5. Which either could be a good or bad thing, because, you know, people want to see you, I guess. But also, it could also mean because you're on very early, they might think you're not going to be on the stream later on. So I was like, okay, this might just be my one chance of playing on the stream. And I played game number 9 against Sami Okasaga. The fan demanded it. Well, there you go. Well, I hope you guys, the pulling power of you guys really pushed it forward then. But yeah, again, you can watch it back if you want. I'm not going to go through this one. But I was leading for about half the game until he got flamenco down for both, again, using both blanks at the same time, for 67, and then drew into Swizz for 58, which then killed me. Ended up losing by 78 points in that one. So now I'm 3-6. I'm playing against Mark Francelon. I win by about 90 points in this one. Got out in front pretty early. Didn't really have too much else to think about. That one was a relatively straightforward game from a game point point of view. Game 11, I played against Kevin Fraley. And this was what I was thinking of potentially analyzing on stream, but I'm not going to because I did lose by 5 points. It was a very close game. But really there wasn't, I mean, towards the end, there wasn't really much else I could do. It was getting to the point where Kevin actually was running very low on time. I do remember that he had maybe like 3 or 4 minutes left, and there was still like 20 tiles left in the bag. It was very blocked. But I kept drawing too many vows to the point where we were leveled going in towards the end game, and I had to exchange 3 to get rid of my vows, and then I drew into a bingo. I was just like, I had really good tiles otherwise. Drew into the bingo, and then he bingoed straight away back after that. And then I didn't pick out the right combination of tiles to be able to bingo back to go out. So I ended up losing by 5 points. I did, according to Macondo, I did play the last 4 moves perfectly. So from an endgame point of view, played it as well as I could have. But earlier in the game, I made a few slight, mistakes here and there, but nothing that was like major, so to speak. So yeah, I lost to Kevin Fraley in game 11. And then I think we're going to go through game 12. We're going to go through game 12. This is against Becky Dyer. So at this stage, I'm now 4-7. Not a position that I was anticipating I'd be in, but here I am. I'm here right now. Not doing particularly great, but that is how it is. So let's go through that one. So let me get this game set up real quick. It was a pretty interesting game because it was pretty cagey, and I was behind by a long way, and somehow managed to kind of claw my way back. So let's do this, and we'll reset everything. Okay, here we go. So again, what have I been saying these last 3 games when my opponent bingos with blanks? Here we go. My opponent, Becky Dyer, bingos with both blanks on the first turn, of course. This is a common theme. I couldn't even write the script, but she played Kotos. Again, putting the C in this position, kind of blocking things up a bit. Although she's creating more unique tiles to play through. I mean, again, if you have 2 blanks, maybe you shouldn't necessarily be thinking too hard about it. But she played this pretty quickly. I think she just wanted to play something, move on. Got 62 points for it. Make it a Q. You could. You could. Or make the blanks like the same letter or something. I don't know. Yeah. There's like, I don't know how many bingos there are with that rack. There's probably like over 150 or something. So good luck trying to go through them all. But yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, she found something good and just went with it. So no point wasting more time. Something like outsets. Yeah, well, maybe so. 148. Okay, well, and that includes Collins as well. So yeah, that's quite a number to go through. Okay, so I'm looking at 2 blanks and an S being played on the board, and I have this rack. I'm like, okay. So I do play the strategically best play here. It does say Volvate as an option as well. I wanted to keep the T and the E, so I just played Volva. And after a sim, even on here, Volva is best. Better to keep the E and the T together on your rack. So that was best. Induce a mistake. You could. See if they hook a D or an S on something on there. But yeah, I decided not to play with fire here. Keep the E and the T. And then she plays Bravi for 26 points. And again, I'm getting closer to a bingo here. I've got this rack. It's not a million miles away, but here I am with the W and the G and the E again, like what I had with Waged up here. I now decided to play Wage down through the A of Bravi, setting up my S hook, which I think to the analyzer is the best play here after a sim. There you go. Rightly where it belongs, number 1. So that was best. And then she plays Ilya. Oops, let's commit this. And then she plays Ilya for 12 points. And I have this. Sim Weeb. Did Weeb added to 20? I don't think so. What? Okay. Never heard of it. I have this rack. I'm close to bingo again. Not quite there. Spent a bit of time actually trying to figure out what to do here. Until I realized, wait a minute, this blank on the board is actually a C. I can play something here. So I decided to play HIE, which is actually a slight mistake. The engine wants me to just play HI, just high. Okay, highs in the chat, everybody. Highs in the chat. It wants me to play high. So it was better than I was kind of slightly surprised that high was better than high with an E, even though it's 5 extra points. I guess keeping the E with that rack is much better. But I thought 5 extra points. I was like, that's quite a lot. And I'm getting rid of another vowel, which might just kind of come back on my rack anyway the next turn. But maybe, yeah, I was kind of undervaluing the E on this rack. Yeah, you kept weed earlier, so now you can play high. Well, there you go. It's all good. But yeah, this was the 3rd best play. It's about a point off the best. After what Macondo thinks, so it was the 3rd best play here. Again, not a big mistake, but you know, it's fine. And then she plays Or, O-A-R, underneath Ilya, which is a bit curious. Playing 2 moves here for 12 and 13. Not too bad, I'm okay with that. And then I play a move here. Which which is not suggested by you know, the engines. So let's see, what did I have here? I have this rack here. Okay, this was not. Don't try this at home, everybody. Don't try this at home. But I did something that that Macondo did not like. But at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is a really good play. Like, I'm a genius." But no. Macondo shut that down real quick. And I was like, okay, I'm not far away from bingo here. I could try and get rid of the Z and the I somewhere, but like where? I can't do that anywhere. I could just play ZO, but what does that really achieve? It doesn't really achieve anything. I could play ZA here, but I'm keeping IIOST, and this 4-timer thing is just so scary here. Or I could play Azo, which is again kind of similar, but again any sort of like, you know, consonant ED, ER, ES. I'm like, I cannot do that. If she's playing Ilya and Or, then she must have lots of one pointers. Probably go to bingo soon. I cannot do that. And Infinity Words. Oh man, how did you know? You know me too well. I play Iota here because I was like, okay, I need to get rid of the I and the O, and I could set up the Z. So if she plays a bingo, I play the Z. I'm gonna be about the same distance behind, at the very least, and then I could probably use the S and bingo sometime after that. So that was kind of my my idea, and yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't like that. I should do less of that. So you can see here, yeah, it doesn't sim too well. But the best move is actually just Zitty, which actually does get rid of the Z and the I pretty well. And I did see this, actually. I was like, keeping more vowels than I need to, but 26 points, is that really enough? I've kind of seen the dollar signs of playing Iota here and then setting up the Z. I could get like maybe, I don't know, 75 points in total for the two moves. I'm going to get 26 here, and I'm like, might not necessarily do so well. At the same time, Iota could get blocked as well, with something above it. I mean, the J is still unseen as well, but I was like, well, if she has the J, then surely she wouldn't play Or. Like, you might just play Joe or something, or JA down here. So, there's a bit of inference going on here. But Iota, not particularly great, but I did this anyway. So again, don't do that, everybody. Don't do that. Don't learn from my mistakes. And I was right to kind of be scared, so to speak. She played Claros under here. So if I did play like Azo, let me actually just put this rack in so you can see it. But if I did play like Azo here, then she would have like Escolar under here, or Oracles or whatever. Or if I played ZA here, then, you know, there might be, I don't know, the Stolicer, I guess, would fit there. So yeah, I was right to not play down here. But again, if you had to decide between Iota and Zitty, then Zitty would be better. But anyway, she played Claros for 75 points. And yeah, things are looking pretty bleak right now, aren't they? Look at the score. I'm already 117 down. Two C bingo has been played against me already, and the board is really not that friendly for bingos now. And not only that, wait, let me just see what I have here. I can't even read my handwriting. Oh, okay, I see. I have this. I have this on my rack. So I do end up drawing two I's and an X. And fortunately, I at least did draw an A. So I do have a spot to play ZA. And I was thinking for a while and was like, do I really have to play this? But like, there's no other second best play that comes anywhere close. So like, I have to do it. I have to play. Otherwise, you just block it and then I just lose. So I have to do something here. I didn't really want to, but yeah, ZA is the move that I made in this spot. So at least, okay, I'm not too far behind at this moment in time. And then she plays Idly above it, blocking off that lane, scoring a bunch of points. Not ideal for me again. She goes up by almost my 90 odd points ahead again. Yep, the IIISX leave minus 6.6. Yeah, pretty bad. Not terrible, but you have an S on your rack. I heard to Poker Roy in the YouTube chat. Yeah, hello. Want to say a quick hello? Yeah, hello to you too. Just going through some games from a recent tournament that I played in a couple of weeks ago. Yes, I'm doing good. Hope you are too. And then she plays Phot, Phot. I actually held this move because I I couldn't remember if Pilia was a word. I was like, is it Pilii? And I was like, wait a minute, why does this not look? Why does this look weird? And then I kind of, is it Palia? So I got it mixed up. Oh wait, sorry. I need to make a. Oh, I need to. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to talk about what I did before that. I'm sorry. I went over it because it was a very uneventful play because I had this on my rack now. And I did play the best play, which was just XI. Yes, I posted photos on Twitter today. Yeah, I haven't got around to doing it at the time, but I have more to put through, more to tweet, in terms of my game. So I will put the rest of it out, maybe tomorrow or over the next coming days. But XI was the best play here again. Really, really garbage play. I got like no options here. Just got to get rid of an X and I. Okay. So now this is what she did. She played Fort. I held, I let it go, I didn't challenge Pilia in the end. So that's fine. Okay, so I'm getting rid of these eyes, but I keep drawing more of them, which is, again, very annoying. I still have 3 eyes on my rack. I play Iota, and I played Xi, I played High, HIE, and I'm still, like, I still have 3 of them. No. No, Becky did not make 2 moves. I just missed out my own move. So yeah, I'm in real bad shape here. So I'm 90 points down. The board is absolutely terrible. My rack is absolutely terrible. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I need to get rid of these eyes. I need to get rid of this J. I can't even do get like a big scoring play here. I can't realistically really hit the triple here. I've got no moves through the C or the L. I could play RG maybe, but then that would give away points next to it, just parallel to it. So that's not really great either. I can't even contemplate even playing KI here or something, because it would just give away too many. I could play KI here maybe, but like I'm now blocking off more lanes. So do the 2-tail staircase just to the corner, yeah. So nothing to worry about here, guys. I'm gonna play like SI next turn. Okay. So I know that Axotypo is in the chat, but I channeled my inner Axotypo. I was like, what would Axotypo do now? So if we generate choices, my move is not even on the list. So Itihas is coming up with Kit at 8B, and this is exactly what I did. This is what I did. Thanks, Poco Joy. Thank you very much. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. There's only one S unseen. Both blanks are already being played. I have one of the S's. Again, my leave is not great. IIJRS, so like I can't really hit the spot that hard most of the time. Probably need to get quite lucky with the 2-tail draw. And not only that, I can't even like play through here with J because there's no more L's left. So I can't even play like Jill or anything. So I'm like, this is really dire now. No pun intended because I'm playing Becky. But like, there's not really much I can do. So I decided to play Kit. So if we put this in the analyzer here, the valuation is really far down. I'm scoring fewer points, way fewer points than all the other things here. Let's have a look. Boom. This is what I did. I've got at best a 9% chance of winning this game. This is really bad. I mean, we're only halfway through the game. And I haven't really made any, like... I mean, apart from iota, you could say. But again, I'm trying to do that because I'm now so far behind. But I haven't made any other, apart from that, any real major errors. I'm just watching my opponent play. But you can see here, it goes straight to the top. So, this is what I did. Got to make something happen here. There's not much I can really do. I got to just hope that I can draw into something big using the J. Or make her block something and just slow her down or something like that. I just got to do something here. So I did kit. It was the best play according to Macondo. I did generate like 200 different plays for Macondo. And it did actually like that. It did like kit best. So like I didn't just use the top 15 moves on Macondo. I generated like a lot of moves. Like maybe all the possible moves, I think. Because there aren't that many with this rack. So it does come up with it as the best play. Anyway, she is going to attempt to block this by playing Topo. T-O-P-O. So she does that. She goes up by 105. And this is my next rack. Actually, oh, it actually is my next rack. That is actually what I picked out. Quack already knew. So yeah, I played the best move here, and I had to find it. Because Jets is not going to cut it, keeping 2 eyes. I mean, I've picked out too many eyes already in this game. So I played Tri-Jets for 69 points. Giving myself a chance at this game now. I have to give myself a shot. I keep an eye. And actually there are no more eyes left in this game now. So, like, keeping an eye is actually okay here now. So, that's what happens. So now, instead of being about 100 behind, I'm only 36 points behind now. And then she kind of slows down. She continues slowing down, playing Dexy for 19 points, but still pretty far in front. I have this rack now. Not particularly the best, but actually is actually a pretty decent draw based on the board right now. Because this spot here with the OK spot here is never going to ever get used unless you have a W. And I have it. There's only one W left. Like, this spot is never going away. So this doesn't necessarily call for another setup, but I decided to play through the D of Dexy, played Nudity for 30 points. It actually doesn't like this play so much, but you'll see. Looks to play like something like Duty or Duty might be an option here. I wanted to save the W for just a move by itself. I can get rid of the U and the Y now, but I did like to play Nudity here because actually before this point there were no N's played on the board, so I felt like I needed to play an N. I keep SW. W's gonna go next turn anyway, so really just keeping an S after the following turn. So let's get 30 points now. We get 30 points next turn, and might be quite close on the scoreboard by that point. So let's just do Nudity here. So that's what I did. And then she plays OE. She plays OE here for 13 points. I have this rack now. Okay, so I'm like, okay, this is actually not a bad rack whatsoever because I have the U. There's still a Q unseen. You can see the pull is not particularly good. There are no I's, no U's left. There's only one O. And then aside from that, only 5 other vowels. And lots of a weird selection of consonants left. So, okay, that's cool. Let me just drop the W. And do that. So what is the best play according to the Macondo, and also here I guess pretty far ahead. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe so, but I also like I needed to play. I needed to keep W in the S. I mean, I guess I don't necessarily need to keep the S, but I wanted to keep the W. But like, I can't. I mean, what else am I supposed to do up here? There are too many ends to keep. I mean, too many ends left unseen. If I play like duty, and I have an end, I might draw two more ends, and then I'm screwed. Again, I could end up playing 5 tiles and then draw 2 ends anyway, but at least it might not be as bad. But I don't know if I really should. Should I care about the last eye? I mean, the eye doesn't really go anywhere on here unless you have the Q, but I don't know. Okay, so I played Walk, and now the scores are 306 to 299. I'm actually only 7 points behind. And then she plays Aged underneath, which is good. This is a really good play for me. Really good play. Because she just took out an A and an E from the unseen paw, and now look at the paw, it's even worse. The A, the E, and the D, all like, say, out of all those tiles in order, like all positive tiles to have. And she just got rid of them all for 24 points. So that was interesting. And I have now drawn an E from this W. I drew Remudas, which doesn't actually fit on this board. But I'm down by 31 here. Still 5 ends unseen. A Q, a C, which could potentially get blocked. Could be a difficult tile to get rid of on a closed board. 2 Fs, a G, an M, all those kind of things. It's not going to be easy. And there's only three vowels unseen. That's it. So it's now really a kind of a, I don't know if it's just if the saying of war of attrition is really correct here, but I guess it is in this case. So I decided not to kind of go too crazy with the rack that I have. Knowing that there's a Q unseen, I decided to keep the U and the S together. And I decided to play DAM, for 29 points. This also sets up the E underneath, which kind of is like baiting her to kind of use it if she wants to get some points. Maybe she can get rid of that E as well. Just flush it out. I mean, I also have the S that can go there too. I mean, I also have the S to go underneath Rem. If I randomly do draw actually pretty well from this bag. But if we simulate this, Dam goes straight to the top. Because I'm keeping really kind of the tiles that you know kind of what is kind of catered to, or whatever the bag is showing right now. So yes, exactly, it's Yasa. So I made the play of Kit, which was barely a 9% win percentage. I'm now a 66% chance of winning this game. I know, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, I do play the best move here. I do play Dam. Gives me a 2 out of 3 chance of winning. Despite I have not taken the lead in this game whatsoever, and I'm still not even ahead right now. I'm still 2 points behind. But a very interesting move comes up next, and I don't really know why she did this, but she played NO here. I think that maybe she was worried about the Q, potentially, or maybe bingos. She played No, which is, again, a really good move for me. She's just flushed out another, well, flushed out one of the ends, but also another vowel. And I have this on my rack. I don't have the Q, but again, the pool is getting progressively worse as I look at it. And again, yes, I think you're right that I don't think that No would ever be the right move to make in this situation. Like, you should never be getting rid of your vowels. But I don't know. Maybe she was worried about bingos, or maybe worried about the Q coming down onto the S. Again, if you were worried about bingos, then you wouldn't necessarily give away a spot next to no, I guess. But I don't. I don't know. You have to ask her about that. But here, I do have a standout best play. And I didn't notice it until, well, it took me like maybe 45 seconds to realize, oh, I could have played this. And then I did. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, boom. Best play here. So there's 4 in the bag. Again, because there are only 2 vowels in scene, I do not want to use my E and U. Definitely do not want to use the U here, because if I get stuck with the Q, I have a way of, I am the only player here who can get rid of the Q now. So I play the best move here, and it's Chief. Through the HIE, I play to C and the F together for 24 points. 20. Oh, I actually underscored this move. I said 23. Oops. But yeah, I played this as soon as she played no, and then as soon as I realized Chief would do that, I was like, okay, I must have won this game now. Okay, you found a good play. Thank you. I appreciate that. Although my win percentage is now up from 66% to 77% now after those 2 moves. Yeah, and again, it's by far the best play here. There are not that many moves above 60%. And ERS or FER uses a vowel, but this has to be the best play. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this has to be the one. Because I can still play Souk down here and I can get some points if I drew the Q. So, 77% now. And I think that now she got a little bit desperate, because, again, she now sheds another vowel. She plays F, which is kind of fitting, I guess. F and Fa for 30 points. I guess also trying to keep some pressure on the scoreboard here to some degree. But, yeah. And actually, this is the rack that I have. I now drew the last vowel. I drew the E. And I'm like, okay. Alright. Plays 14-point words for 7 turns. I mean, yeah, you can see that after idly 24, 22, 19, 13, 24, 8, 30, not really scoring enough points here. So, yeah. I think she said she was just hoping that she would avoid the Q, and maybe I would fall into trouble or something. I don't know. That she would draw the Q and the U or whatever, but I don't know. At this stage, I was like, okay, I've already won this game now. You're Q stuck. Look at the tiles to the left. B, G, M, N, N, Q, R. How many tile stick is this? Could probably, if I really wanted to, I probably could have stuck a lot of tiles. But I decided, you know what, I'm just going to let her have one chance at scoring. And let me see if I can find the best way to win, or the best endgame outcome, or the best sequence, which Mikondo agrees with my best move here. And now you find out that the set is faulty and she finishes with the bingo. Yeah, she's got another A. Yeah, she's got another A. All those N's that you see there, they're not really N's though. There's one missing. So yeah, I did manage to find the best outcome here. I played Coden and Dame, setting up runes underneath, which again, from her point of view, not really blockable unless she plays the R here. So I do that, and I can also obviously just go out anywhere else. So I played Coden. If we ask the championship player here what the best move is, boom. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. 15 points. And then she plays... she actually ends up playing Arm. Why not Code? Well, I didn't want to give her another chance to get rid of any of her big tiles. because she can play arm here, and then she can play off like braving. She'll get an extra 15 points or so. There actually wasn't really any point in slow playing this end game, because she would just score a lot of points herself, whilst I am scoring like 5 points a turn. I might as well just catch her with everything. So she plays arm, and then I do play runes for 25. That's the and that was it. So the finish. The final score was 426 to me, 378 to her. So, I was about 100 points behind. I was 105 points behind when she plays Topo. On a closed board, I somehow managed to pull this out the fire, win by 47 points. I don't know how I won this game. I was sitting on a 4-7 record, and I was like, okay, I'm playing Kit down here. I'm playing Kit here, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go 4-8 now. Like, I cannot do much more than what I have here. I have to try and make something happen, and I managed to. So, again, this is just kind of a theme of what my wins are like. Some of my wins are like. I just have to try and grind out whatever I could. So yeah, I won that game. Went to 5-7. You would have lost without Iota and Kit. Exactly. What do these analyzers, these engines know, right? But yeah, I got a bit lucky with those, that they didn't really block things or block things in the right way and things like that. So there's that element to it, I guess. But we went through game 12. What I will do is actually go through the next game with you as well, which is game 13 against Travis Cheney. Again, a kind of a interesting way how this panned out as well. So we'll go through it as well. So he went first. Okay, so let's save. Let's just reset the scores. Okay, there you go. So his first move was Vibe, V-I-B-E, which was incredibly annoying because I had Granger on my rack and it doesn't fit anywhere. Ah, I'm like dying here. I'm like, what do I need to do to get a bingo, or just like a play that just like fits? And yeah, instead of like an easy bingo being played, I had to think for about 3 minutes here in terms of what to do. So I played Gar as 15 points. Then he plays Veep, V-E-E-P. And then I have this rack. Not particularly great. Again, not great. Already 3 E's on the board. I've got 3 more E's on my rack. That's half the E's already right there in this game. Did not play the best move here, but in my defense, there are a lot of moves here that you could do that are about the same. So you can see in terms of valuation with these moves, they're all pretty much the same. I ended up settling on Gel, I think. Girl, yeah, I even did think about playing Girl as well, but I didn't want to play the E and the R. But I decided to keep 2 E's here. I played Gel. It doesn't really like this move that much. But, I mean, you can see here, Quackle is not completely hating it. But I think Lenga was the best play according to Macondo, if I remember right. So yeah, just Lenga, Lengist, doesn't take an S here. But again, interesting that it wants me to play off more tiles. Again, generally, I guess Macondo doesn't want me to play too many and open too many things up. Like, this doesn't open really anything. But again, interesting that it likes just keeping the E. I figured that I would try to do something kind of in between, scoring in this spot, not giving away any hooks next to Gab, and keeping 2 E's in my rack. But yeah, okay. It's not a big mistake. It's still a decent play in the grand scheme of things. And then Travis plays Mooney next to Veep for 38 points. I have this rack here now. And yeah, I have a few options here, and they're mainly all next to Mooney. So YE or I or Yam. I actually decided to play Yam here. Again, not entirely sure if that's really the best play, but I felt like they're all relatively close together in terms of valuation. But it does like to keep the M here just for a bit more, maybe a bit more balance, maybe? I don't know. But I play Yam. It wasn't that far off the best, so I think it's still a good play. Solid play. Then Travis has a bunch of vowels. So he plays Adoy next to Gel. Slows down a little bit. And if you think that I couldn't draw out more E's, think again. I drew out 2 more E's from my play of Yam. I drew another 2 more. So here you go. What do I do with this now? The board is almost completely blocked. But I decided to play. I know, I was like entree. It needs like an accent so I can have 3 E's together. But I decided to play EE here. Setting up my N. Like NT words would fit really well here. Which is kind of why I liked it. Again, there's still a good chance that my opponent will have a K, L, or N. That would go there. There's still 8 of those tiles unseen. So like, there's still a chance that he might have something. But I think I have to do this. So keep enter. Could draw into something next turn. So I'll do that. And curiously, he only plays 2 tiles here. He plays on. So as I said, every single move has been vertical so far. And he does play this very quickly too. So I'm like, he must be fishing. And I'm like, wow. That's like almost the if my opponent had to use this is literally almost the best possible outcome. And I wasn't going to get hit with a bingo in this spot. So my next rack is this. Again, a tough rack to deal with here because this O of on kind of presents itself to it as a bingo lane that I cannot really block or really do anything about. I can't use this I at this bottom of the board either. And I don't have a hook here to go with AL. So like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, do I just play Feud? But I actually do play the best move here, according to Macondo. I play Unfit. So I keep 2 E's. Again, there's a shortage of E's now. There are only 4 E's unseen. And if you simulate it, Unfit comes straight to the top. Boom. Again, simulating in my brain what's going to happen, and I came up with the right answer. And kind of giving myself a few floaters here too. Need to play all vertical. I know I broke the streak, unfortunately, but that's what I did. On move number 5, or well, move number 10 of this game, I broke the streak, unfortunately. But yeah, I felt like I had to get going here. And in this move, Travis plays pretty quickly. He plays Nephron. He extends on to Nephron. Oop. But he actually told me after the game that he kept AI on his rack. He kept AI on his rack after this. So he had this rack. He had this. So like, he ended up realizing after the game, in real time, about 30 minutes too late, that he actually had heparin. He could have played heparin. and he should have done that. So I'm like, oh, okay. Cool. But Nephron was an interesting move. It kept, I mean, unbeknownst to me at the time, he kept AI. Is that ever right? I don't know. It doesn't come up in the list of moves here. But yeah, you played Nephron, and yeah, you played it relatively fast again. So I was like, okay, well, at the time I was like, maybe just a very obvious move, or maybe he was setting up the Z or something. I don't know. Sure, okay. And here I do not draw particularly well again. Let me just type out my rack. This is my rack now. Oh, hello. Hello, good to see you here. Good to see you here. Yeah, we're just analyzing some games from World Cup. I went through game 8. Oh, no, sorry. Game 6 and game 12 already. This is game 13. I'm going to go through like 7 games tonight to kind of talk through. So we've got a little bit. We've got a few more to go through. But this is game number 13 against Travis Cheney. So yeah, I'm thinking of playing either Queer here, or do I play Hexa? I do also see Rexes as well, which obviously is not as good, but I do see that as an option. But I was like, I have to play. I have to play Hexa here. There's so much more. It's kind of one of those spots now where, like, do you take the big point sacrifice, or do you play Queer? So yeah, I do end up playing Hexa here. So there we go. That's best. But unfortunately, as you can see with how my tournament has been going, he ends up bingoing. He plays Basifier through the E. And of course, tripling this F as well, which makes it even more painful. He gets 92 points for Basifier. And I'm like, I literally just put out like a floater out there, and then he just bingoes straight through it. He obviously, remember again, he kept AI on his rack, so he's due into that. Next one, relatively straightforward play here. I have this. Again, if you kind of go back to my last move, and then I have the QU spot, I just play quick. And I play quick. So I get 40 points on the board. I'm not too far behind. And then with Basify, he then draws the J and plays Taj, and kind of blocks off the board a little bit with that move. You can see that it's actually now very difficult to play anything with this Q, with Gab, with Vibe. You have this N, and then now the J that's here. It's kind of getting difficult to do anything here. Can I see a quick sim? Quick versus QI. Wait, QI. Oh, you mean QI here? Yeah, if you want. Oh, QI. Wait. Oh, you mean QI up? I mean, oh, you mean Q up here? Okay. So yeah. Funny enough, it suggests Wiccans as an option as well, as a comparable option. For 46, keeping the Q. I think when I ran this through Macondo, it does still like quick best. So there might be a few nuances between the two engines. But quick is now jumped to the top. Once you run the simulation, there's now about 1,000 iterations. Are you happy with that now, Exotypo? Come on, you gotta say, I played another good move. Come on. Come on. Okay, we're gonna stop the sim. It's quite comfortably in front. Okay, let's move back to where I was about to do. I haven't changed my rack yet. I have this rack here. Again, best play. It is pretty straightforward here. I played Wei. So really, well, you can't play Yao, but you can play Yor or Wei. Not really much in it, but Wei is actually slightly better than Yor for some reason. For reasons that I kind of thought about for about 5 seconds, and then was like, let's just play something. Let's not think about this too much. We've got a game to play here. And then he plays Atua for 12 points. So score now 270, 229. Best plays Applebee's. Yeah, enjoy the ads, guys. Enjoy. Okay, so this is now a very pivotal moment in this game. We have got to a pivotal moment in this game. This is what I have on my rack. I have this. I'm about 41 points behind. This board is closing up real quick. And I actually maybe I pressed the panic button a little bit too early, potentially. But I did press the panic button here. On the board that was now empty, very quickly closing. I decided to play a phony. I played a phony here. And Itiasa, Zenons is a really, really, really good play. The one I did not see. But I played a 9-letter phony. So I played Miss Dons. Because Miss Don is good, and I was thinking, wait a minute, could Miss Don just be like one of those like archaic spellings for Miss Dunn? And I was like, maybe it is. And I was like, do I ever remember seeing the S hook? And I'm like, I don't recall it. So even despite that I have even thought those things, I was like, okay, I'm just going to play it anyway. Because the longer I take to think about this, the more likely that he might actually challenge this. Because if I think for about 5 minutes and then play it, then it's quite clear that this is the best move, and why am I thinking so long? I'm not sure. So like, okay, I was like, well, if I really want to do this, I have to pull the trigger now. Again, these are things that the engine will not necessarily know, but this is what I did. So I played this move, and yeah. Unsurprisingly, Travis challenges his move and he comes off. So I'm in bad shape now. I'm in bad shape. Sorry, guys. Not doing too good. Why did I do this? Why did I do this to myself? I don't know. I'm stupid. Why am I being stupid? Need to do less stupid things. But I was like, okay, if I have to do it, yeah, have to do it now. Have to pull the trigger. Okay. So, next move, he plays Dart. This is not his rack. He plays Dart next to a Tua, which now really kind of blocks off the board a lot. Like, my chances of doing anything now is really kind of bad. But in this spot, there actually is a standout best play here, which I did not see at the time. Because now he knows that I have an O, but he knows that I also can't really do anything here. So I don't do anything there. I decided to play Fond, which I think if you kind of stared at the board for about, 15 seconds, you would probably see this and be like, okay, this is great. Yeah, let's just do it, move on. But there is a really good play here that actually, that I missed completely. So let's see it. It's this Nkosi through the K and the I of Quick and Adoi at the bottom left. Yeah, I did not see this, and it's by far the best play. Oh, I say by far the best play. It's a very good play, and after a sim on Macondo, it's Fond is about 5.5 points behind Nkosi. So it is a bit of a mistake. Again, not a major mistake, but still a mistake. And I think in the chat you mentioned about a9nt. That is on the list. That's a very good play here. I did not see that. So I played Fond. So looking at the score now, I'm still 41 points behind. It is Travis's turn again. And he actually exchanges. So he exchanges 6. Let me just type that in. So interesting that he decides to exchange 6. He just played dart, so he must have just got rid of all of his good tiles. So yeah, I don't know. And then now this is my rack here. So I'm now down by 41. This is my rack. So now what do I do now? So like there's options here with the with Oda. I play Fond. I can't really do anything in the bottom left here now. There's an option with the T up here potentially. If I can find something that goes across there, I could play something like Honest. Playing something through there. But guess what, guys? Guess what? I played something way better than this. Way better than this. Thanks to Every Baby for the raid. Thank you very much. Hey, hope you're doing good. I'm just so yeah. For those that just raided, I am a top level Scrabble player, I guess. Maybe not after this tournament, but I played a tournament called the Word Cup in Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the end of last month, and I'm actually just analyzing some of the games that I played in this event. And this specifically, this game is game 13 out of 31. I'm not going through all the games. I'm going through maybe 7 of them today. This is the third one I've gone through today so far. And I'm just kind of showing the analysis through the engine, what moves I should have made. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Playing Cos, setting up the E, but there's still 2 blanks on the scene. So I can't do with the Ecos hook. I can't do that. But Itihasa, yes. Simulate, if you found the choices, look at this. 101 points, mischosen. And guess what this guy played? Boom. I found it, 101 points. So now from being way behind, I'm now up by 60 points. Out of nowhere. Quite unbelievable that I even got to this spot. But I am now ahead. And then he plays Zoo here for 40 points. And I have a somewhat interesting situation here with this rack. I'm now only 20 points ahead, but look at the unseen pool. So if you have just turn it from the raid, just to the right of not that way, this way, not this way, no, this way, yeah, this way. You can see what letters are left unseen to me, and you can see 2 blanks, an S, T, and 2 E's, all good tiles to play that unseen to me. And there aren't really any floating tiles on the board to play through for a bingo for my opponent. But there is this N, the sneaky N on unfit, where you can play something IN ending there, and obviously there's the Z, which you could end up bingoing through randomly. I didn't really think about it too much at the time, but are there any bingos that go through the R and parallel play? I don't really know. There must be some if there are 2 blanks on the scene. And there are also 5 tiles in the bag. So, got to be careful here because we don't necessarily... I mean, if you empty the bag, it's quite possible that you and your opponent bingos, then you might... Well, obviously you can lose anyway. But if you... don't play enough tiles, your opponent could just fish off again, and then you still have no idea what they have. So in a normal situation, I think WUD would be the best play. But the problem with this is that you leave 2 tiles in the bag. So your opponent could just open something up, or just play 1 tile somewhere. You could just play the G here or something. I don't know. Just do something wacky like that. and then a solid incoming, and I mean that is again the Z is looking pretty. I mean it doesn't look good, but there are actually a lot of things that probably could fit through there. Anything ending with IZE could fit there. But again, what normally would be the best play, equity wise. And again, you have to worry about this IN ending to a bingo. So I don't play one, and I don't block anything. I decide to play something else, which I believe Macondo really likes. So I'm gonna simulate this and simulate like 6 ply or something. And look what jumps to the top. Wait, let's see what happens here. Does it go to the top? Maybe not. It's pretty slow, this sim. Wait, this sim is it's running very slow because I'm streaming and I'm telling it to go 6 ply. Probably don't even need to go 6 ply. Maybe let me remove some of these options. Make it run a bit faster. Slow because of the blanks. It might also be because of that too. So what is it telling me to do here? So actually, I know I was gonna say that I played the best move. Again, according to Macondo, I played the best move, but it is not suggesting the best move here. It is not suggesting the same thing. Again, this could be like one of those deviations between the two, between Macondo and Quackle. But I actually played this. I played Dwyle. But where is it? Here. I played Dwyle. I decided to leave 1 in the bag. Again, if he bingos right now, I probably will still lose. But I do not want him to just fish off aimlessly 1 tile, and I still don't know what he has. So I thought it was really important here that I play 4 tiles, and if he bingos, he bingos. You know, I probably will lose no matter what. But I need to make sure that if he doesn't have anything now, he can't just do something weird, and I'm just going to be scratching my head in terms of what to do next. Last night a clever guy played out card and RM, and opponent challenged out card. Well, there you go. That is bizarre, I guess. But yeah, I guess that player must be very sure that out card is not a word. Must you play RM again? Maybe so. Maybe you're inducing that RM is okay. Okay, so yeah, this didn't quite go to plan in terms of what I was trying to explain to you, but clearly Quackle does not like Dwyle that much. It likes something similar like Twire for some reason. I'm not entirely sure, because there's still 2 L's unseen as well, so why would you potentially draw into more L's? And Dwyle scores a little bit more. I'm not quite sure why, but all I will say is that Macondo does love Dwyle. It thinks that Dwyle is the best play. So you're going to have to trust me on that one. Unfortunately, this tutorial here did not quite go to plan. And I have not gone through this with Quackle until right now, so I didn't know. So Dwyle was played. And then Travis makes a mistake here, and I don't want to slate anybody. I don't want to I don't want to make, of course, not make fun of anybody, but he made a very, very basic error in this case, to the point where I was like, what? He plays eel, E-E-L. Plays eel for 18 points. And then I checked the score with him. I said, "Oh, is it 368 to 348?" And he goes, "Yeah." and then he puts his hand in the bag, and he goes, "Oh, stupid," and he didn't check the bag. He didn't check how much was in the bag. There was just one tile in the bag. That's why I played Dual Isle to begin with. I knew there was one tile in the bag, and importantly, he did not realize that. So he ends up playing 3 tiles when there's 1 tile in the bag, and he's now sitting there with 5 tiles on his rack, which really let me off the hook. Again, I don't remember the last time someone did that to me. You still deserve to lose with Miss Dons. I mean, yes. And again, I managed to get lucky with Miss Chosen, but again, I do have to find Miss Chosen. I think the difference between me winning with Miss Chosen versus the next best move was like, the difference is like 50 or 60% or something. So I needed to find that. But yeah, with this rack, I do manage to draw one of the blanks. There was not really, there were no bingos available here, even though I was trying to find something, there's no place to play it. I played the best move here, which was Outgrin. So, last championship player. You made 1 good play, maybe 2 this game. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I played Outgrin. Again, trying to get that spread. Getting that spread, and then he plays lists. For 16 points. And that was that. So yeah, I managed to win that game. Again, out of nowhere. Again, another game in a row where I was behind. Had to grind out a victory. Again, you could say arguably I did my best to kind of lose the game by playing Miss Dons, but I guess I kind of made up for it after that to some degree. But yeah, these wins are very difficult and very hard to come by. So I won that game. I'm now up to 6 and 7 after those 2 games back to back. And then I beat Rashid Balagan 512 to 470. A game where he started off with 2 bingos, and then on the 3rd move he plays Zoo for 65. So again, he's got 206 points after 3 turns. I'm behind in this game, but I managed to overtake him midway through the game to the point where he needs a bingo at the end, and he doesn't have it. So again, another difficult win to round off day 2. So I finished the day 7 and 7. Okay, we're gonna speed through day 3. I actually don't have any games to go through with you for day 3, but I beat Joel Wapnick, game 15. I lose to Extra Typo. I'm not gonna go through this game. I'm sure you probably will go through it yourself. But yeah, in the end, you got me good. So maybe watch out for Extra Typo stream for that one. That's game 16. Managed to lost to Evans Clinchy the next game after that. Again, moves 2 and 3. He bingos 78 points and then scores 99 with the next one. He goes up by how many points is he ahead by this point? He's up by about 146 points, but I managed to come back with 2 bingos and only lose by 18. So damage limitation there. I beat Praneet Sharma in game 18 by about 150. So I was lucky there. So I'm 9 and 9 right now. Play Rashid Balagan again. He gets his revenge. He wins by about 50. Somehow, for some reason, I'm 9 and 10, and then I have to play the leader, Wellington Jageri. And for the first time, not on stream, I actually managed to beat him. So this is now the 2nd time I've beaten him, and he's probably beaten me like 13, 14 times now. So that was nice to kind of nice victory to get myself back up to 10 and 10. And then game 21, I lose to Leslie Charles by about 100. He bingos 4 times in the first 8 moves, and I bingo for the first time on move 10, and then I managed to stick him with a V, I believe, and then only after sticking him and getting an extra like 60-70 points, I still lose by about 93. So I'm just trying to look out for my spread. So I finished the day 10 and 11. I'm again below 50%. And then we'll go through some games here for day 4. So my day 4 started against Wasim Khatri, who was also not doing quite so well. He ended up finishing in, I think, 3rd place in the end, putting a big run towards the end of the tournament. So yeah, this was an interesting. I'm only going to go through like the first like 2 moves just to show you what what really happened here, and after that, I mean, I'm not even going to go through the rest of it. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the rest of it after that, but I will quickly show you what happened in the first like 3 moves of this game, because it was wild. So like the first move, he just plays KI here. So I'm like, okay, he's got some good tiles. He's got some good tiles here. So I have this rack. I have this rack here. And then I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? There are a lot of very uninspiring options to play, like parallel to KI. But this guy had other ideas. Look at the best play here. Boom. 72 points. View book. And guess who played that move? Yeah, I did. 72 points. Again, really vital that I found this play because it was so much better than anything else. Of course, Wasim holds, and you know, and then he lets it go. And then guess what he plays next? Again, another theme of what we've been talking about for the other games. He plays dilative. He plays dilative with 2 blanks. So I'm like, okay. So that's what happens. And then he plays Humida on move 4, and he plays Nanobees on move 5, and then plays Oxo on move 6 for 53. Plays RHY for 51 next turn, and blah blah blah. So what, you know? So that's kind of how my tournament was going when my opponent is constantly bingoing with 2 blanks. I think you've seen this now like 5 or 6 times already. But yeah, again, I'm not going to go through the rest of this game, so this is not what happened. But in the end of the day, at the end of this game, I got to 433. He got to 574, so 141 point loss. Not much to talk about here. And then game 23, I managed to beat Mohammed Sulaiman by 224. Didn't really put too many. Didn't really actually, when I analyze it, there was pretty much no mistakes in this one. But I will now go through game 24 against Carl Higby. Let's go through that one. This was a really interesting game too. So I go first here. Oop. Let's reset this real quick. Okay. So I'm to go first. I have this rack, and no more games. I'm gonna go through maybe 3 more after this, and then that'll be it. I'll try and go through a bit faster though. So I play PHT, which is the best move, and then you place EE underneath. And then a bit of an interesting play here. It could go many ways. I could play always open with no vowels. Exactly, no hooks, no vowels. This is a great play. Best part loves it. I know, it eats it up, man. Eats it up. Like, this is the perfect, like, yeah, perfect play, like Vox or something. So yeah, I have this. I could play Vang underneath EE. This has to be a bit more aggressive because I have an S. I played Ganev for 32. But funny enough, the Makono doesn't really like this move quite so much. He prefers Vang, keeping the E. And here we go. So again, my opponent bingos with a blank. Plays ebriate. Here. I also will say, I think I noticed something with the blanks. I think it was from games, my games 3 to 14. I think I only had 5 blanks in that time. Over the 12 game period, I had just 5 blanks out of 24. And during those 12 games, I still went 6-6 somehow. I don't know how that happened, but I was like, this is I'm getting way below everything here. I'm just trying to stay afloat. But yeah, again, this continues against Carl. So yeah, struggling with a lot of things here. But I have this rack. I managed to draw into the axe. I play the best play here. Tax underneath ebriate. 60 points. I'm just negating his bingo, which is good. Sure you bingo back with ST? Nope, I do not bingo. Sorry. Have you not been paying attention? I cannot draw very well in this tournament. Okay, so he plays mud. So I keep C, D, R, S. And yeah, fitting in with the theme here, I drew D, J, N. So, alright. No open vowels on the board, so there's another exchange. I'd have to keep N or S here. I didn't really want to keep the C because it might be difficult to play on this board, so I decided to keep N or S instead. And then he plays Kurd for 31 points. He's back ahead again. And then I have this, which is a relatively straightforward play, I think. I'm looking to get rid of this Q, and the only real way I can get rid of this Q for a good number of points is playing chins for 36, which is what the engine likes. So I did that. And again, I mean, I'm not gonna say what the theme is of this tournament, but here's a bingo from Carl with a S and a blank here for scoring 70, which is not, ironically not 70, it was actually 80 points, and he goes ahead by 71. So yeah, I'm in bad shape here. I'm pretty much never in good shape in any of these games, or most of these games. But here I have this rack, and I managed to find a good play here onto the N of chin, so I played Marin. But there was an even better play here. Marin was good, but maturity through Mat and the T was the standout play here, which I would probably have never have found. But I did not see that. But in any case, maybe Morin would be good. It sims a little bit better because it opens up the board and I'm behind. Maturity kind of keeps things a bit closed. But still, maturity is definitely much nicer here. Morin is not so good. But I believe Morin is a Collins only word, and Carl is predominantly an NWL player, so he does give me an extra 5 points for Morin. 32 points now is the score for that. And then he plays Oye, O-Y-E, to the left of Morin again, looking to, I guess, block things up on this board. He's a bingo ahead. And I do, I keep EY on my rack, and then I turn over my tiles, and this is what I have. This is now what I drew. I drew I-I-N-O-O. So I'm like, how am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm like, how am I supposed to play this game? And anything that I do kind of either blocks something or doesn't score very much. Like, So after about 3 or 4 minutes of thinking, I just kind of settled on just Yo above 70. I played for 22 points there, and that was played. I'm still a little bit behind, but of course, he has the Z, so he was actually ready to play like Azo above 70, but he played Zoa, so like Azo would have made Vav and ZE and would have scored like almost 60 points. So instead of getting 60 points, he gets 46 for Zoa. And now I'm even further behind on a really close board now. There's really only the R of Marin and the R of Ibriate to play through. It's not looking good for me whatsoever here. And I have this rack. Yoni seems one more necessary. So yeah, I do think about Yoni as well. So yes, you're right. I do contemplate thinking about Yoni. It does get rid of an extra eye. But then I was also like, well, I mean, in this situation, if I play Yoni and then he plays something big underneath, I mean, yeah, he might open up more lanes. I mean, he might open up maybe, well, say more lanes. It's like 1 or maybe 2. That kind of blows my chance at really like opening the left side of the board. The left side of the board is now going to be kind of dead. The top part of the board is pretty much dead. The bottom part is pretty much dead, and the right side is already dead. So like I wanted to wait for a better opportunity to open up the left side of the board, because if I kind of block it with like, if I play Yoni here, and then he plays like a 4 or 5 letter play underneath that, and then after this play he's now plus 20, I get 20 for Yoni, he gets 40 for something, I'm now like 100 behind, and then I've got no way to really come back. And yeah, I do agree that I do need to make something happen, but I feel like maybe I needed to I mean, we're not even halfway through the game yet. So, I mean, it might be the worst case scenarios are gone, but maybe like he might have a W or something. You can get 40 points. A bit dramatic, are we? Well, maybe. Because this is kind of like, the board is like a cross shape, whereas like, I can't put bingos down otherwise, so I feel like I needed to wait for a better opportunity to do it. So I played Yo instead for that reason, just because of that reason. And we also do have some time. There is still time in this game. So I played Yo, he plays Zola. I have this rack. Okay, so let's go back extra typo. I think now might be the time to do it. So I decided to open up the board now. I played Oi. And yeah, it's not, I mean, yeah, you could say that, but like, you could say like it's not, maybe it's not as much or whatever, but if he opens up with a 5 tile thing here, gives me 3 different openings, different floating tiles to play through. Knowing the fact that he's actually playing Oi to block things up, maybe he might not open up the board, he might not play there, he might be too scared. Or that he is getting overly paranoid, that he doesn't want to open up the board, doesn't want to do anything. So, and he would need to have like the right tiles to kind of score a lot. And in fact, you know, in the end of the day, it doesn't really open up anything for me specifically, especially if you leave it alone. It's just the fact that this threat, this triple threat, is now going to be a threat for the next turn if he doesn't do anything, or that he, if he does do something here, he's going to give away floating tiles. So I'm like, which one do you want to do? What do you want to do now? Pick your poison. So again, I don't necessarily know if this is really, if my reasoning is maybe the right reasoning, but on this situation, this move specifically, Makondo does like OI as the best play. I mean, naturally, because it is, you know, it is opening up something, because I mean, I'm making something happen here, because the fact if I don't do anything and he plays through this R and blocks both of these floating R's on the board, then it's completely dead, pretty much completely dead. So I need to do something now before it completely shuts down, and he just has to just block whatever I open. At least there are a few things that could happen. So I play OI, and he does open up the board here. He now plays Boit. I don't know how you pronounce it, but Boit. He plays that. 26 points. He's now 95 ahead. And now I have another rack here, which could bingo, but I don't have a 7-letter word here that would play. So twinier would be my bingo. I'm also 1 letter off interweb, so I was even like contemplating trying to fish for something here, or even like bite wing, but that's 2 G's. The I floater is not good for me, but big brain play come in here. Watch this. Boom. Guess who played that move? Oh yeah. And I also get a +5 for this. He challenges Wintria, so I get 81. Boom. Guess who's back in the game, everybody? I saw him challenge that. I remember I gave you... Yeah, I think you... Were you on the streaming table at that point? I actually wasn't sure if you even saw it, because I know that the color scheme of Ziziver, and you were sitting quite far away from it, so I wasn't actually sure if you even saw it. It's a bit weird, you know, with the orange or whatever it is. So I actually wasn't fully sure if you saw what was actually, if you could see what was actually challenged. You have the, I know you have the better vision than this guy here, who's got a real bad prescription here. So like, okay, so I figured that maybe you did see, but yeah, I managed to somehow get myself out of a hole in this so far right now, but I'm still a little bit behind. So here we move forward. He plays Kale for 26. So even after that, I'm still 40 behind. But I do draw into some weird tiles here. I have this rack. So there are some things that I could do. So I could play Juke, J-O-O-K, or Folk or something. If Juke's dead, we just have the infinity words right here right now instead. So I didn't really like playing Juke here because there are lots of A's left, and I think that some kind of AW or whatever, something would give away more points. So I decided to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. I don't know if you could really call it that. But I decided to play FOP, F-O-P, above here. Partly because there's still an F and a W unseen. Like, he could easily have something up here as a 5-letter word and get like 50 points, and then I'm pretty much lost. So like, FOP also does a job here because I get rid of the F, the O, and the P, which are kind of really awkward tiles. But I have the J to go above here as well. So in columns you can play Jaw, J-O-R. And I have the O as well. So there's only one O and one U left that could play above the P. So if I hit something here, I could potentially draw into like a big play above FOP with J-O something. And I'm keeping the L and the N, so I didn't fancy my chances of picking anything or drawing anything like immediately. But I felt like if I keep this open and I keep the K open, maybe I'll have a good shot at scoring something next turn. And I can score something now, especially if I'm like a tempo behind. So I decided to play FOP, and so that's what I did. And actually, the engine doesn't really like my play, despite all that thought. Well, maybe. Well, wait, this is not actually right. But well, actually, I think this is actually fine. Actually, it doesn't say it doesn't like my play. It's not that bad. It's actually okay. All right, it's not too bad. Good. So yeah, FOP was played here. And then Carl takes out one of the spots. So he decides to play Lick in the top left corner, which is interesting because there are lots of A's unseen. I mean, this is not necessarily the rack that he has. So like if we just kind of put in the rack that I have, you can see that there are 4 A's unseen. So the fact that he played lick means that he doesn't have any of the A's. He must have. Yeah, he doesn't have the U or some of the vowels. Maybe he doesn't have any vowels. But if you now look at what letters I have, I now pretty much drew the perfect tiles. I drew what A-I-I. Maybe so. But then that's the kind of the more extreme version of it. I think there's more chance that he doesn't have any vowels. But I pretty much draw the perfect tiles here because I drew the W and the H, and my FOP play comes in real handy now. I played Jowls for 63. So who needs a bingo here? Who needs a bingo? Boom. Top play. And now I'm actually up by 24 points. But, of course, my wins don't come easy. So, yeah. He plays Larrages through the I of Boit. And, yeah, I'm down again by 58. No, 48, sorry. Not only that, but, wait, let me just type up my rack. Not only that, but it blocks my bingo through that I as well. Again, one of those annoying things where your opponent plays through the only floating tile with a bingo that blocks your own bingo. It's like a 2 bingo swing. It's annoying. Happened here again. So, I'm in a spot now. I'm 48 points behind. I have this rack. Faithing has just been blocked. But I still have a good high scoring play next to Larrages. So I could play Fating or Hating. I work out that Fating would give me a better play on the next turn with Math for 13 points here with this H. And whereas the F, if I played Hating, would not score 13, it would score a bit less. So I think Fating would be best. So that's what I did. And it turns out when I looked at what letters he has left, he can't really do a great deal. He can't really score many points. So he can't. I mean, the good thing with Fating is that it makes it very difficult to actually parallel play. So if we ask the championship player here what to do, what's it going to say? So being 46 points behind, these two moves actually come out on top as a 100% win. So I was initially disappointed with Larrages, and then when I kind of looked at it a bit more, I did have about like 10 minutes to think about this. I was like, okay, maybe I can still win this game out of nowhere. So working out the end game, I played Fating, of course. This is what I did. I knew that the H scores more on the next turn. So I played Fating, and then he holds, and then he realizes, I think he realizes now that he's in trouble. So then he challenges, gives me an extra 5 again, 61 points now, and now I'm ahead by 13. And then he plays Dado for 22, which is equally his best score. So that comes down, and then I have Math for 13, which is my optimal endgame sequence here. And I win this game 466 to 456. And bear in mind, look at this. 1, he challenged 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves. So if he didn't challenge anything, he actually would have won the game. So, yeah. It's a close, very close game. He told me about losing because of his challenges. Yeah, I mean, generally you should always challenge anything that you're not sure about. As a general rule of thumb. You shouldn't always believe everybody. And yeah, I guess I played enough wacky words that it actually ended up helping me get over the line. So again, this is a game where even if I did play like this and nothing was challenged, I would have lost. But I managed to find a way to win this game. And that win put me on 12 and 12 after all that. So yeah, wasn't particularly great, but you know, happy to kind of pull that one out the fire as well because I was behind for pretty much the whole game. And then I was behind again after his bingo, but still managed to figure out that I could still win. So yeah, I was going to go through 3 more games, but it is getting a bit late, so I'm going to reduce that to 2 games now. I've kind of been talking too much. So after that game, let's see, what happens next? Actually, after game, that was game 24. Game 25, I actually had to buy. So, easy win for me. Easiest win that could ever happen. Got a 50-point win. 13 and 12 now. And then I played against Mohammed Sulaiman again in game 26. But this time, I actually lost. I lost this game by 40 points. Yeah, he played Dozen for 69. And then 2 moves later, he plays Vaxxed for 59. Next move, he plays Pendant for 73. And then towards late mid game, I guess he plays Ontreams. I don't know how you pronounce that. Sticky Ass with a with an S and a blank, and then pretty much the only bingo spot available. 62 for him there, and I had to try and engineer some kind of way to go out with a bingo. I mean, again, I was kind of like a bingo behind, but then I was like, well, the best spot would want me to bingo out, so I was kind of delaying a bingo, which I actually, well, I couldn't play a bingo anyway, but I was kind of delaying opening up the board until the very end, until like I had to try and get something down. But he had the one tile that actually allowed him to block adequately, so then he actually manages to win the game. But that's how it goes. Game 27, I beat Mark Francelin by 122. So I'm back up to 14 and 13 after game 27. And we'll go through this game here, the last game of day 4 against Winter. Game 28. So let's talk about this one. We've got this game coming up against Winter, and then we've got one more game that I'm planning to talk to you about on the final day, and then that'll be it. We'll kind of wrap it up after that. So let's reset the scores. Here we go. Okay, so back to 0. Would Winter challenge Winteria? That's a good question. That is a very good question. Okay. So he plays Fug, F-U-G, I think. I mean, I can't even read my handwriting. I need to have a look at this. 1 second. Where is it? Is it this one? No. Oh, it is that one. Yeah, he plays Fug, F-U-G. Okay, that's right. Okay. I almost have a bingo, but not quite. So play Tix, T-I-X, above Fug, which is the best play according to Macondo. So yep, that is the play. Oops. And then he plays Pad above it. Again, kind of a very slow start here. And I have this right here, which is relatively straightforward. You just play Zip. Just get rid of the Z and the I. I know you kind of give away points with the Z, but I think you have to play that there. Again, Macondo likes his play best. And then he plays Disrobe here. Yeah, he plays Disrobe here, which is a little bit strange because he could have played Ball Rides up here instead. The anagram would have scored a lot more and would have been more defensive. So, can only imagine that he wasn't either sure of Ball Rides, or maybe Ball Rides is a Collins word or something. I don't really know. Don't quote me on that. But he found Disrobe. At least he found something that would play. And then I have this rack here. So I was going to play something like Jizz or something before, but then now I have an even better play. I can play Kanji next to Disrobe for 48, and I have the S. So that makes it even better. That's like almost an instant play here. And it almost ties up the game. And then next move he plays Wame, W-A-M-E, for 38. I don't draw particularly amazing here with LS. I do draw 3 vowels and a Y. Could be worse, of course, but it's not the best. But yeah, I managed to play through this, playing through the Z of Zip. Again, Macondo likes this play of lazy best. And then he plays Wira through the I of Kanji, putting him back in front. And I drew, and now this time I actually do draw well. I do draw into a bingo. I have this rack here. So I have Adoras in a few spots here. I have diffs and AY. But here's a learning point for you guys. Do not do what I just did. I played Adoras and Wiras, which is not a word. I think it's just an H hook for Wira. So you can spell Wira with W-H-I-R-R-A, and you can hook an H on the end of it, I think. But you can't put an S on Wira. Unfortunately for me, he did not challenge this move. So I actually play Adoras. I play Adoras here for 86 points. Wira's is good, yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. I guess they're both different meanings. So I guess I got them mixed up. So yeah, that's what happened. And this is probably the reason. Again, I've been bemoaning about my luck for a lot of the tournament, but this might also be the reason why I'm not at the top. It's Wira that's the same. I mean, yeah. I didn't get away with a single phony in 100 games. Wow. Well, of course you won't. If you play phony 3s, you're never going to get away with those. Come on. But Winter comes back with another bingo of his own. He plays a9nt for 79. So he's still ahead. He's still ahead. But I do draw into something here. I do draw straight away into another bingo, which again I was lucky. Okay, I will admit I am lucky sometimes. So I do have bingos with lazy here. I can play Glazy and Tiglons, which is what I did. Best move according to Macondo. So now I'm back ahead again. But no, of course not. This is never going to be easy. Nothing is ever easy, you know, in this tournament for me. He plays Hetera. He has a back-to-back bingo of his own as well. So now he goes back ahead again. And not only that, I draw pretty badly now into this rack here. I've got 6 vowels and a V. So just got to try and make the most of what I can do here. I play Uoi next to Tiglons. It does actually, I think it does like Valle best, which is next to Hetera, just because it scores so much, but the OOU leave is really not good whatsoever, but because it scores so much more, it is top. And there are still 2 unseen O's and U's left as well, which could make things worse. I didn't want to run into those troubles, so I did play this, keep myself in range. But then he ends up playing QI in the top right corner for 38, just what I needed, of course. And going from one extreme to another, I keep AOV here, and I turn over my tiles and I pick out this, which is not particularly, obviously not particularly great whatsoever. So let's just alphabetize that. That's what my rack is. Yeah, I don't really have too many other options apart from playing Voyage. 32 points. Seems like the best play here, and it is according to Macondo. Again, trying to stay on track here. Then he plays Felid onto the eye. So again, I'm now falling a bit further behind in this moment. So I keep, what do I keep with Voyage? I keep MV. Okay, so I'm turning over my tiles. Okay, I have this. I have this. I have this. I have this and I have this. There you go. Oh man, I'm like, okay. I just had 6 vows like 2 moves ago. And now 2 moves later I now have no vows. Like what happened? Where did they all go? What happened to them? Come back. Come back, vows, come back. So yeah. Oh yeah, you got away with Vaxxed on stream. I saw that on your board when I was walking past. And I was like, is that a word? It's like, that's not a word. Okay, so here I am with this rack. I'm now 55 points behind. This is, again, not looking very good for me whatsoever. No vowels. But at the same time, look at what letters are left here. There's still 6 E's, 2 N's, 2 O's, 2 U's, PST as well. So I'm like, what am I looking to draw? Could just draw into anything. But there's a possible that my my opponent Winter here could be stuck with all the E's and U's and O's and N's. Like he could just have all those letters, and if I draw into something good scoring wise next turn, I might have a shot. So I play, I think, what is my best play here of Blanche. Again, looking at the win percentage, looking pretty bleak. Not good. 19% win percentage at this stage. 32 points. I think I just have to do it. Just play off as many of these contests as possible. Draw into these vows. See what happens next. So I play that. And then he plays E10. E-T-E-N. Next to Felid for 23 points. So now I am this far behind. And I have this rack. This is it now. This is it. So I am 46 points behind. I have this rack. The letters left, E-E-N-O-O-U. Really bad, actually. So this is kind of what I was hoping might happen. I do draw the P from the bag, which is the only high scoring tile left. And also, crucially for him, a non-duplicated tile, because the other P has already been played. So then I'm like, okay, what can he do? What can he do here? He cannot really do anything. You're looking at his tiles, he cannot really do anything. But not only can he not do anything, can he even go out well in 2? And the answer that I kind of came up with was really no. So if he can't go out in 2, then I might have a shot at winning here if I can come up with a good out in 2 myself. Or potentially go out in 3. So for some reason, I had a lot of time left to kind of think about this. I don't know why. Again, I'm kind of like getting caught up with so many different trains of thought with what was left. It probably took me about 4 minutes to realize that, oh, wait a minute, I have this. I have like something very simple. And I wasn't even looking at what I was really about to do. I just didn't even realize that I even had it there. Or the fact that I didn't even realize I had Vum on my rack. I was like, oh, there were so many things that I was like running through my head. I mean, again, I had plenty of time. I wasn't in a rush, but like it just took me a while to even like contemplate what I was even about to do, and then was like, oh wait, I have this, and like this is obviously the best play. So let's run it through the championship play. And you're gonna see, look at this. There is a way to win. I have found a way, everybody. I have found a way. The one and only way. And I play Vum. and I'm now 16 points behind. I am now breathing down his neck. Not literally, of course, that would be weird, but I am literally, I'm not literally, but I am breathing down his neck now on the scoreboard. The only wins have been remarkably easy to find. Well, must be nice. Must be nice. Have you ever played an endgame? No, I don't need to. So, in this case, he plays new for 13 points. So I think he's trying to block PEE here. But at the same time, he kind of handcuffs himself to not being able to play out. So I'm wondering if there's a way that he could win this game. And the fact is, all of his options are so bad that he cannot really go out in 2 here. So he plays new for 13, which is this one here. Plays that. And then now, I am still 29 points behind. He cannot go out. So it's very simple. I mean, if you not necessarily always paying attention, you could be like, well, my highest scoring outplay is like P's. And then I lose because it's only 19 points. Again, 19 plus 6 to 25 points. I'm going to lose by 4. Why do I have 7 consecutive ads as you're about to go over the end game? Wow, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that, Kuba. Oh, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, again, now that I'm wondering, like, okay, he cannot go out. And I already kind of knew that before I played Verm. So I'm like, well, maybe I just need to go out and 2 myself from here on in. So I did. So Ask Championship player. There's really only, well, I guess, yeah, there is only one way I can win, I guess, to a degree. And it's for me to play the S first. Because I have, there's only really one good play to play the S. He could technically block this with like TE, or with EE or something. And then I might be in trouble. I can play P down here. Well, over on the left side here for, what was that, 17? 17 points. Or I could play P here for 16. So, don't need to play P right straight away. I can play Voyages, play this first. If I cannot play the S, I'm in big trouble, so let's play this first. And yeah, it all kind of worked out to plan. So he ends up playing, what did he end up doing? He played, I guess this is a phony, he just played Blanche. That's not even a word? That's not even a word. Okay, that's not even a word, so I don't know what he was even doing here. But he plays that. Actually, well, I don't even know what I was doing. I was not even concentrating. I just let it go. I was like, what? Okay, so yeah, I have not played an in-game properly yet, because I let this one go. Wait, so, makes this play. Not challenged. So yeah, that was what happened, and then I played P. So I kind of had the right idea. I guess I should have challenged this move. So yeah, that's what I did. Oh, let me do that. So yeah, and also because if I did challenge and it was good, I would lose. So again, that was probably the reason why I was not willing to challenge it as normal. See Komatsu stream when? Exactly. One day. One day. Hope to see that one day. No rush, of course. So yeah, that was how that game ended against Winter. I managed to pull, again, another game almost out the fire. It feels like I've done that like 4 or 5 times already in this tournament. And just with this win, I've now improved to a 15-13 record. It's like, this is so hard to like get any kind of wins going. Any number of wins going. So, yeah. that was that. Okay, so that was the end of day 4. 15 and 13. I have an outside chance of... Actually, well, I don't really have an outside chance of really getting anything, but if I could finish well and get to a top 10 or something, that would be... I'm like, okay, well, that might be fine. But then, of course, I have to play Axotypo, first game next day. Easy game, of course, because I managed to win. 73 points, no big deal. Challenge his phony off. I will again let Axotypo on his own stream talk about what he did. But it involves a coin that he just brings out randomly onto the table and flips it, and then he makes a move, which was a wrong move. But you know, I'll let you talk about it on your own stream, and we'll move on to the next game, which is game 30 against Dave Weekend. This will be the last game that I'll analyze on the stream, and this is actually a really interesting one. So I'm now 16 and 13, and I'm playing against Dave Weekend, the legend himself. So again, this is a bit strange because I was like, I'm actually 2 games ahead of Dave right now, who is actually on 14 and 16 himself. So I'm like, where did this? How am I even playing him at this stage? I'm not even doing. We're both not doing very well, and this is what the pairing system kind of threw out. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll roll with the punches here. Okay. So let's go through. This is the last game I'll go through on the stream tonight. It's getting late. But this is where we just reset this. Okay. So he starts with a bingo. It doesn't take him very long to find because it's a routine bingo, so we say. 66 points for him. And this is my rack. Of course, not particularly great. But here we are. So I do miss my best move of Glutton for 14. I just play Toll instead, trying to keep things a bit more under control. Keep the decent leave at least for 12 points. So do drop about 3 points of equity on this move. And then he plays Lutz through the U for 33. And then with my GNT leave, I draw 4 vowels. And fortunately for me, this is a very welcome sight of these 4 vowels specifically. I have air rating for 68, which comes down immediately. Nothing much to think about there. So I'm happy just to kind of get out of that in 2 moves without too much of a problem. Nix is his next turn for 29. Oh, this is the move. This is a... Oh man, I can't believe I missed this. I had this move. And I'm like, oh, do I just play AUE or EAU or something through the G? Kog, maybe? Or how do I get rid of these U's? Like, do I play something else, like Unao? But no. This guy did not come up with the best play, unfortunately. It was the coveted sixth vowel word here that actually does play next to air rating as the best play. Like, oh, how did I didn't even see that word. I keep the C and it scores the most points. Oh, how did I? Oh, when I analyzed this and was like, what I did? How can I miss that? Like, I just needed to find the word. If I could find the word, then I would look like for about a minute to find a place to play it. And I didn't even find the word. Oh, what did you punch? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I punched the I was actually analyzing this game on the plane home back to New Orleans, so I probably would have just punched the empty seat in front of me. They were like actually I will tell you there were about 61 empty seats on my flight home, um, on the connecting flight home. So yeah, I would be more than happy to have punched the seat in front of me. There's no one there. But yeah, that was, oh man, that was bad. So I played the puny move of Kogue here. And yes, I did lose 24 points of equity for missing that move. Oh. Okay, again. Sometimes I get bad tiles, that's fine. But if I do miss things like this is not acceptable. Cannot afford to miss moves like this. It's so much better as well. It was bad. But yeah. I have to live with that now. Until next time. But Dave slows down a little bit. He plays Genie Eye here. So he doesn't really score too many points. And then I have this rack. I play Hugh for 20. There are a few other moves that you could play as well. I did think about it for a little bit. See if what was really the best play. And it does like to play something like Hans. Here, which does score a lot more points. Is it your worst non-bingo miss this tourney? Well, non-bingo miss and non-phony. I think it was, yes, by quite some distance actually. I don't think there was anything that I missed by quite that much. Yeah, I think I missed like 3 bingos or something this whole tournament. But yeah, Hans would have been slightly better. I play Hugh for 20. Want to open up the board a little bit. Give a few more lanes. So yeah, I did that, which is like a 5-point mistake. Agave. Next move for Dave in this spot. He's now 60 ahead. And of course, again, I do draw some bad tiles sometimes. And I make some bad moves sometimes, but this is the former, guys. I play Hugh, keep AENS, and I pick out these 3 tiles. Boom. BBF. I'm like turning them over. I'm like, what? What is this? What is happening? Okay, so then I have good tiles, and then I get derailed by things like this, where I'm now like have to take 2 turns to try and clear them. So I do play the best move here. Relatively straightforward, just put Fab underneath Toll. Keeping BENS, like that's the best you can do. And of course, at this stage, Dave now bingos. He plays Purines underneath High. You were lucky to have good tiles to begin with. Oh, I guess I shouldn't be ungrateful for my tiles. I need to learn to be more grateful. Okay, so he plays Purines. He's now ahead by 104. I drew ADY, so I have this rack, and I have a bingo. Sweet. Bendays, 84 points. Well, I didn't play that one. I played Bendays down here. 82 points. So yeah, I played that. It's actually, well, according to Quackle, is not quite the best play. It actually likes to play above here, because it doesn't really give away quite that much, I guess. So yeah, the 2 points is worth it in this situation. Is, well, very, very marginal, but yeah, I played it down here anyway. And then Dave plays Door and Lady here for 31 points. He's now 50 odd ahead. But here is a move. This is a notable move here. I managed to draw into this. I finally get a blank. Oh, yes. I get a blank. Yes. Alright. So what do I play here? I'm like, okay, do I play like Meow? Or do I play something else? Like, what else can I even do? Like, I don't know. Until I realized there's a C here. And was like, I mean, this alphagram looks familiar. And I was like, is there a bingo through the sea? And I was like, I think there is. And then I was like, wait a minute, it still fits. I have wood mice. Or the D is a blank. And I was like, wait, is that a word? One day you'd be better at creating. Well, it's more suspenseful if you actually weren't there or you weren't sat next to me. But I played wood mice, and I can check this off the bingo card. My Scrabble playing bingo card. Well, I don't know if this has ever happened before. It might have happened before, but I don't remember. But Dave actually challenges this move. It's the only bingo playable here. So like afterwards he was kind of thinking maybe it was just wood lice and wood mice. He wasn't 100% sure, but I got a +5 from Dave. So I got 89 points. I wouldn't have challenged. Well, of course you wouldn't have challenged. But yeah, but Dave also wouldn't have played a funny 3. So, you know. So yeah, I'm now ahead. Temporarily because he plays Medlars as a bingo here. Oops. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. That was short-lived. And then I have this rack, which is pretty powerful here. But this is what I ended up doing was actually a pretty big mistake. So I have this rack, and I immediately just see like whiny up here. Like I'm like, okay, I keep CH and P. It's not too bad. Can score well with that my next turn. Really, not a good play. And then once I analyzed this game, I was like, wait a minute, there are so many other plays that I didn't even think about or even look at. And you'll see. Look. So Hypnic fits in 2 places here. One above Hugh for 53. So bear in mind that whiny is just 40 here. Hypnic also plays underneath Kogue for 51. And Witch is also kind of similar play to whiny. But this move is actually the best play. I mean, well, whiny is not the best play, but after a sim, this one is actually the best play. Payek. Because it sets up the H underneath that there is no more H's left. And I was like, wow, okay, I suck. Yeah, that is the move that if I found that move, I would have played that straight away. So I think that was a big mistake. And yeah, should have done a bit better to find that. So I didn't find it. Yeah, I lost a lot of points from that. It was about a 10-point error. So I played whiny here, and from this point on, from this move, almost the worst thing could happen is that he had the Q, and he played QI above it straight away, and I'm like, not good, because this scores 48 points. The next best thing that if I played Payek here, the next best thing you could do with the Q is to play like QI here next to wood mice, or maybe I don't know if he had. I mean, I guess there are no ends left, but he could play QI here and set up some kind of big spot. But really, QI here is the next best thing. So not only would I have got a lot of points for playing Payek, I would have saved myself about 25 points of him playing QI. So it kind of was a double-edged sword there. And with CHP, I drew against some funky tiles. I drew, this. I drew this. Again, nothing easy about this whatsoever. And yeah, I did that. And yeah, I decided to play Joe. I'm a little bit too far behind. I feel like I needed a bingo. but I'm 62 points behind. Like you can play jocks here for 56 and almost go level and leave one in the bag. Like you could do that. Joe is also threatening this game, but the D is still unseen. Which of course you can see on my rack I do not have it, but I do have a blank. So maybe I could play 2 tiles and maybe he just avoids the deal completely. And yeah, that's what I do. And it does like Joe, because I do probably need to bingo to win. Jocks puts me level, but I'm going to be a tempo behind every time. So it doesn't necessarily win a lot of the time. So Joe kind of just makes things kind of happen a little bit. 29% chance of winning. I mean, it's not great, but it's the best I can do. So Joe is the play. Okay, so 4 tiles in the bag, and then Dave decides to play Fat underneath Purians, which scores 35 points. He's now up by 59. And to some degree, I should draw quite favorably here. So I'm keeping this on my rack, right? Is that right? Yeah, I'm keeping that on my rack, and I actually drew AR from the bag, which you can see from the unseen tiles. AR, they're the only two. They're the only ones left, and I managed to draw them. So I have this rack now. So let me just alphabetize that real quick. So here it is. And there's only 1 tile in the bag. So the S is still unseen. There's still a lot of things unseen. But now with Jin open, I'm now threatening potentially things at the top of the board. There's the M that's over here too. There's a bingo lane, which, although very difficult for me to play on because I don't have any letter that goes after BE. That's available here, and then there's also an S hook onto doors, and maybe through the R as well. So there's a few options here. It's just a matter of what options are best. How many would I be able to hit? Can I infer anything from what he just played? Maybe there's more chance that a V might be in the bag, or maybe a G or a D. Maybe he would have would he have played a D here? Maybe not. So there's things like this that might be a problem, or might be good for me, maybe. But when you kind of drill further down into it, whatever you kind of find a pathway to win this game, I think you just need to try and bingo out to win this game. But then the thing is, there's only 1 tile in the bag, and then it now boils down to what tile do you play, and what tiles, unseen to you, are you looking to try and get. So I had about 6 or 7 minutes to think about this. Again, this is a pretty this is probably the most interesting, I will say now, this is probably the most interesting position that I had in this whole tournament, or maybe over the entire July tournaments that I have played in, especially in Albany, SBC, and in this. This is probably the most interesting one. Because I did sit there, and Axel was there next to me, who pulled up a chair and sat down next to me and said, what happened? And then let's talk about it. And then we went through it. I must have went through this endgame for about 10 minutes. And I don't normally go through endgames that long, or at all. But this one I wanted to kind of look at. So yeah. So really, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, if you're just looking at your intuition, you're looking at the P or the K here to try and get rid of. The CH goes well together. But then you're looking at where can I play my bingos if I drew any of these tiles. So I was kind of thinking of different options, like, you know, like playing PE here, but then there's an O unseen. We can play the P down here as well. This will give me a better option to kind of play something at the bottom of the board. Or that you can play the K, playing Oka here. Maybe if you felt bold, or maybe you were gonna work out the endgame properly, maybe you play KO. You don't need this D hook for Jin. Maybe, I don't know. You need to work that out. Or do you do something slightly more wacky, like getting rid of the H, like playing the H here? There's only an S hook here as well. You could maybe draw into like Packers or something. But then you need to actually draw into something that actually gives you a way to win in two different spots, right? Because then he's going to know Dave is like one of the best in the entire planet in terms of bingoing, in terms of knowing his bingos and seeing what bingos you have available. So like finding something that just goes out in one place is not going to be good enough. So you need to kind of go all in here and figure out what to do. Again, I have 6 minutes to work this out. And quite frankly, it's not enough time. So I made a decision which was not very well advised. And I decided to play up. I played up here because I wanted to open up the bingo lane on the bottom. But I ended up realizing that I think that shaka was I thinking that shaka was a word? I probably was thinking that it was, which is partly more the reason why I played that, and it actually isn't a word, it's just hackers, that is actually a word. So I played up playing this here. We'll go through the analysis later on, but I'll tell you what happened first and foremost. So I played up. And then he's actually holding onto this rack here. So you can see with the unseen tiles, which is actually now my rack, I actually drew the O. So I now have bingos at the bottom of the board, like chakras that fits in Yupo. So chakras and Yupo would fit. But crucially, I do not have another place to play another bingo. So he has a very straightforward move of just playing vested and ups, and actually doesn't give away another bingo above, or doesn't really give away a good a high scoring bingo above vested. He is already 55 points ahead. This scores 38, so I would need a big score to win this game. So we just ask the championship player here what to do. Vested, in terms of the generated moves, vested does win every time. So that's what happened. He played vested. I'm kind of running a little bit low on time, and I do miss a bingo here, which obviously would have been better from the spread count, but I didn't play didn't find the bingo that was available, and it was hard rock again, pretty difficult to find on the short time, a short notice here. 82 points, which would have made, well, it would have mean that I would lose by 7 points. I didn't find that. I played the next best move, which is shock, and then he just goes out with his G for 9 points with go in the top right corner. So if I just play that out real quick, this is what happened. He ends up winning by 50 points, 507 to 457. So that was what happened. I played up, and again, we're going to try and dissect into this a little bit more. So like, if we just go back to this position here. So I will tell you now, right? I will tell you now. I was analyzing my games, the last day's games. I had analyzed all the other games already before the last day. I have 3 games to analyze. I was going through this game on the plane, and through Macondo, and it's actually got a peg functionality, which basically means that it can work out every single endgame with the one tile in the bag accurately. So I decided, okay, you know what, if there's ever a game to kind of go through this peg simulation, this would be it. Let's go have a look. And bear in mind that I had 6 minutes to work this out. Do you know how long it took Macondo to work it out, to give me a definitive answer of all the answers? Anyone want to guess how long it took? Bear in mind that I have, I was running it on my work laptop, which is actually one of the, my laptop is actually one of the high-end laptops available. 30 seconds, says hop out the bed. It also said probably 20 minutes, but you could do a 2-ply here, I think. Okay. Anyone else want to guess? You're really good at self-reassuring. I mean, I have to make myself feel like I'm actually still good because I haven't won anything for a while. um, but hop up to bed. You are a long way off. Teach. It's yeah. So you're actually very close. So it took Macondo 25 minutes to give me all the answers here. Okay, and I'm going to show you the answers, every single thing. So here I took a screenshot of what happened. So here it is. You're not going to see anything on the left side of the screen anymore. Here it is. Okay. This is what Macondo will throw out with you if you use the peg thing. So I don't know if you can. Oh, I guess I can't really highlight anything over it, but you can see the wins. You can see the second. Well, the first one is the play. Is like what you play. Second is the wins out of eight different end games. I guess you got here. It goes down in order of terms of win percentage, and then the outcomes. It gives you a thumbs up if you pick out that tile. That means that's good for you. You're gonna win. A thumbs down. You can see on the top line would give you a negative thing. That basically means that you can't win. And on the second line, you can see how here it says 4.5 wins. There is actually something in the middle with like a handshake. It means it's a tie. So those are the outcomes that it will kind of throw at you. And my option of up, which you can see here, is actually the fourth bottom option, e13.p, which is up, which is what I actually played. That only wins 1 out of 8 times, 12.5%. So if we really want to go into the weeds in this, then we could. But really, if you want to look at this, the top option, which is 9BK, which is Oka, that is the one that wins the most often. It wins with E, O, S, or T. So if you play it out, with Oka, and then, for example, I don't know, what do I draw here? So I don't win with D, G, or V. So if you play, wait, what did he? Well, he ended up having this anyway, didn't he? Though I do end up drawing the O, right? That's the last time on the bag. I would win, simply because I would play Pochard up here for like a gazillion points, and I also have Reproach. Well, the E would be a blank, so it would be this for like. Sorry, this would be like. I think this is 90 points. Pochard is like I don't know. I haven't even counted it. It was like 110 or something. I would win. I would outrun anything that that he actually he would do, because he can't block. He can play something like D-Vest as the best play that you could do. He won't block. He can't block both positions. It's funny that Oka wins 5 and Ki wins 4.5. Yeah, because I guess it's just 1 point fewer. Maybe I don't know if that's really the case. What's hilarious is that your player only wins with a D draw, and then you likely would have missed Hard Rock after he blocks Chark. I know, it's kind of ironic that I ended up doing something that I wouldn't even see anyway. So, so yeah, arguably I just messed it up just completely. Which again highlights how finicky and how difficult these kind of endgames can be, especially if you don't have enough time to kind of really like think it through. You're just kind of throwing a dart in the dark here at the board, and you're like, okay, I just have to hope that this kind of works, and it was completely the wrong thing to do. So it took 3 people a combined of about 30-ish minutes time. Of 30-ish minutes to work out this out. Yeah, it was tough. There was a lot of people crowded around and trying to work this out. So really, with the E, if I pick out an E instead of an O, so like I would have Parched up here. I would have Parched, and I also would have Reproach down through the R as well. So I would still have R, E. Oh, the E would still be a blank. Is that right? No, I'm looking at the wrong tiles here. The O would be the blank. And I would play reproach here for 90 points. Show unseen. Wait, 1 second. I mean, this is wait. I need to go back 1 second. If I play Ochre, if I commit this, and then, well, it's really, this is now down to Dave. So this is what he actually had. So I basically what I'm saying is that I picked up the O in the unseen tiles. So I kept I would have kept Parch blank. So I would win. So like, okay, so if you can see this, I have Parch blank after K, and then if I bring this back up again, I would have the E. We're looking at the top line here with the 5 wins. I win with Parched and Reproach as well. The O we already went through. The S, I think. Wait, what do I win with that? Well, I think we worked out that the T I would still win. What was the thing with that? I guess we can just do it here. Or if you just wait, we could just type up my own rack. That would be a lot easier actually. Wait, this is an S. Struggle to follow. Yeah, it's not that easy. Okay, so if I did pick out an S, I would still win. So it says that pre-crash would be the highest option here, and then Scarf. So did that still win? So even, oh yeah, but this would win because he cannot play Divest anymore onto the R of Door. So he actually does have he does have much worse options in terms of scoring. So that's why that an S would win for me. And then with the T, if I change that to a T now, and then generate choices, I have Parich through the R, and then I have other moves like Repatch that would score enough points to outrun Dave with this rack. He would play Doves or Vigos or something, and I think I still can win. Yeah, Divest G is just right. Yeah, so okay, so if we have to really go back and talk about this, this was my this was the move here. Wait, let me just remove this sim thing here. This was the situation that I was in. No, it's okay. It's okay. I can talk about it real quick. Yeah, this was the situation that I was in here. Wait, what the heck? Wait, I need to make fat. And then I have this. Okay, so this is the situation I was in now. We just kind of roll back things. I'm 59 behind. I have this rack. As I said, I have about 6 minutes to work this out. And I made the wrong decision of playing the P here after not really being quite sure as to what to do. And I didn't really think about... Actually, to be honest, at the time, I completely didn't even think about playing anything through the R of Door here. I completely missed it. I was like, yeah, I can play Djinn, I can play the M, I got this, I got the S, and I didn't even look at the R here. Which might have changed things. Might have changed things if I actually like paid attention to what the board was looking like. Yeah, I thought that Shaka might have been good, but then I was like, I don't think it is, but I am running, the time is now like 2 minutes, I have to like do something. So then I was like, okay, I just have to do something now. I'm just gonna lose based on just on running out of time otherwise. Which is not great. So for Delta, yeah, I played the P here, and I picked up the O, and then he just blocked with Vested. Yeah, so I was kind of like, yeah, I couldn't really generate all the things fast enough when I was realizing what I had to do. Just not enough time. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I kind of messed this up. Yeah, that's fair enough to say. I did mess this up. With D, I get Charked and Hard Rock, but then I ended up drawing the O for Hard Rock, and then I didn't even see it. So, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have enough time to go through everything. And again, I could also say that if I had 30 minutes to work this out, I may still have not found everything, but I would have had a better chance. Yeah, I missed Hard Rock, but I still would have lost. I still lost. Yeah, because I played up here, and then he played Vested, and then Hard Rock was the only playable bingo here. I played Shock. I didn't see Hard Rock, so 52 points, and then I would still lose by 7 here, 494, 487, even though I found it. So I needed to find something better than that. And yeah, we've probably gone through it all already, but again, this is what as I said. I don't know when you turned up, but we went through this with Macondo. It took 25 minutes for Macondo to work to give me this result. It took the robot that long. So, yeah, fine margins in this case. And with Fat, I think he said that there were 4 tiles in the bag at that point. I think 3 of the 4 tiles that were in the bag at that point would have given me a win if I played it outright. So as long as he didn't leave the 1 tile that didn't win for me, you'd be okay. But retrospectively, knowing what was in the bag, yeah, I could have won this game. I probably should have done a better job. I'm just a bit more disappointed that I didn't even come up with a better option than this. Why did I even think that this was even a good play? But again, just not having enough time to work this out was key here. So yeah. Wait, what is shockable? Oh, you're trying to quiz us on this? Oh, should I know this one? Shoe black. Okay, nice. Okay. So I kind of went through my games here. I went through 7 of them tonight, I think. So I lost this game against Dave Wiegand, so I went to a 16-14 record. Let me get rid of this sim result. You missed the whole thing. I know you did, but you can watch it back if you have nothing else to do. And then I played against Bob Lynn last game. He started with he had 2 bingos the first 3 moves, and then got a bingo later on in the game also, and I actually didn't even bingo at all. So lost that one by only, in the grand scheme of things, only 57. So I finished on a 16-15 record. It's pretty disappointing. But you would have seen in this stream that there were a lot of games that I could have lost, on another day, maybe a different opponent, maybe. There's probably another 4 or 5 games I probably should have lost, or could have lost. So it could have been a lot worse than this. And there were a lot of games that I just didn't have the firepower to do enough to do anything, which is partly why I finished 15th. Again, didn't play perfectly by any stretch, but doesn't help. Not playing, not getting the right tiles at the right time. And yeah, as I said earlier, between games 3 and 14, 12 games, I had only 5 blanks, and I still went 6-6 in that time, which is still pretty good, but again, it's not sustainable. Just can't go through these games against a really strong opposition and not have a good enough set of tiles to be able to compete. But yeah, that's just how it is. I got less than about 40% of the blanks again, and I actually in terms of the bingos, I actually bingoed half. I think 0.5 less than my opponents did. I bingoed 55 times, and my opponents bingoed 68 times, and I still finished with a positive 443 spread. I somehow managed to still overcome that to some degree. Any juicy knives? Yeah, I played. I played Mischosen onto MI and played Winterior through the first ER. They're both without blanks or anything. Yep, I played Viewbook onto the K of of KI, and then you play Dilative as a 9 timer with both blanks through the V. I mean, sometimes there's not much you can do. I think that's what I can say. And the next tournament I'll be playing in is TBD, because I don't know. I don't know when I'm playing next. So I think my Wesper rating went down to like 1907 or something. I'm like washed up now. So yeah, that was kind of my analysis of the tournament. I went through it again. I think I went through like 7 games or so, 6 games maybe, and that'll probably be it for today. It's getting towards midnight now. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you're making excuses for me, Delda. So I don't know what other excuses I can really throw out nowadays. It's been a while. No Merriman has ever won. Okay, well, I guess, is that really true? Well, that exotypo is probably something for, like, you know, TV or something. Getting what's it called? DNA tests and things. That's, you know, that's a different kind of thing. That's not my area of the internet, I'm afraid, or anything like that. Bit of spins around with no content. Exactly. You should just just use that as copy pasta. It's all good. Add it to the list. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it now. I think I will be resuming normal service with my streams come Tuesday. I don't know what I'll be doing yet, but we're done with the analysis streams now. I'll be getting back to playing some more actual Scrabble and Woggles or something, or maybe doing some Cardbox streams or whatever. I have a big backlog right now, so we'll see what happens. Are you going to Ghana? Don't think I will be going to Ghana. Very, very. I mean, I say very unlikely. The answer is pretty much no. Yeah, I don't have enough time off work to be able to do all the things. Is anyone? Yeah, I don't know who is going. Very limited number of people who are not in Africa are probably going. Yeah, it's going to be tough to do. Is Ghana actually safe? I think with most places, I think if you stay in the right places, it probably is, but well, if you go to the Middle East, then maybe they will. But yeah, in Ghana probably, maybe so. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay. Okay, I think that's about it for my stream. Hope you guys have a good weekend. I'm actually, as a slight side note, I'm actually playing in a tournament today, tomorrow, and Saturday. And it's not a Scrabble tournament. I'm actually playing in my first ever pickleball tournament with Lindsay, my wife. So I've actually got a pickleball, pickle fest tournament. Yeah, and we're playing in the lowest division because we're new. And at the moment, we're playing in this round robin format that's like 8 games over 3 days. And we played the first 3. We've actually won the first 3 games already. So yeah, we're playing 3 more games tomorrow afternoon, and then 2 more on the weekend. And this tournament is actually organized by Drew Brees, who's the New Orleans Saints quarterback, or used to be the quarterback, and also John McEnroe. So they will actually be there on the weekend. So I might try and get some pictures with them. And also, like, the finals for all the divisions will be played in front of a crowd. So, like, we might actually get them, like, watching us play come Sunday if we make it to the final. And at the moment, we're actually leading our division, so I guess more to come on that one potentially if that actually happens. But still got a long way to go. We went 3-0 so far. No other team is 3-0. But we've got some more games to come. So yeah, we'll see. Not to dispute about pickleball. Well, I don't know. um, yeah, I mean it's me and Lindsay are doing all the things that old people like to do, like Scrabble and pickleball. Like only people over 60 like playing this game, so that way we're like ahead of the curve, right? Pretty cool. You can play with your wife. Exactly. Yeah, we're playing in the mixed doubles. And the thing is, the problem with pickleball right now is that there's actually no rating system. So like you basically have to self-rate yourself right now. I say self-rate yourself. I don't know how many times I keep saying that. Never seen a 30-year-old so ready to be 60. Well, there you go. I've got plenty of time. Yeah, there's no actual rating system. Like it's like you're like 3.0, 3.5, 4.0, 4.55, and there's like a list of like. It's really weird because it's like it just kind of gives you a description as to what you should be able to do if you're at this level. And it's like, well, are you consistent at hitting the ball in a certain way that you want? And you're like, maybe? Like, what is consistent to you? Do they have like a UTR system like tennis? I don't know what UTR is, but I know that in tennis, if you don't have a rating, you do have like a number or something that you kind of grade yourself at, and it's kind of like that right now. The system actually works pretty much better than anything else. It is kind of like that, I think, right now. But because we have never played a tournament before, we start off. We are allowed to start off at the bottom division. And some of these people, I mean, are not good. Not very good. Yeah, exactly. We come from Scrabble with an obscenely accurate rating system. Yeah, that is actually very true. It doesn't work like that for racket sports. Yeah, it is difficult to do unless you're like on a tour. But you have to be a pro, and then you can play as much as you want, as often as you want. But like, it's hard to know if you're new. Like, how good are you? It's really impossible. Yeah, it's not easy to be able to rate people that play very sporadically, and because it also depends on like your strength of opponent. Like, how good are they? You don't necessarily know them either. There's a lot of people in my division who have never played in a tournament before. It's just like the same with like any newbie tournament in Scrabble. Like, what do you do? How good are they? The difference in Scrabble is that most likely is that you're probably not very good, because the barrier of entry to an actual tournament is very, very high for the average, for the kind of the average Scrabble player who just plays like recreationally. Like, to get to like the bottom level, the bottom of a tournament level is still very high. But with pickleball, it's like, where is the barrier of entry? It should be pretty low. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, but I think we're already immediately better than a lot of teams. But like, if we manage to win more, then we'll just be like in the 3.5 division. We started at the 3.0 division because we only started playing this game in April. So like, we've only been playing for 4 months. But like, I think we're already better than. It's not better than a lot of people, but we're better than a decent number of people at least. Maybe not people in division in the 3.5 division, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think the chat is right here. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing. So maybe on Tuesday I can divulge a bit more in terms of how the tournament went and things like that, if anyone even cares. But it's kind of funny. That we actually, this is the first time I've ever played in any like sporting tournament, like actual tournament. And I have like we'll end up getting a rating from this as well. There is a rating system like on a website that kind of kind of does the rating for you, but it's not like an official rating. It's just like this website that kind of like tracks all the games and the results, and it just gives you a rating. So like, you know, that might be what we end up getting, and then if we want to play in other tournaments, we'll just use that. But yeah, it's quite tough to be able to do anything. I don't know how it works or anything. Yeah, Scrabble School will translate surprisingly well, in my opinion, but I found translating to being an athlete. Maybe. I mean, just being, I mean, just a general, you know, just analyzing things more and learning about things. We kind of know how to do it, I guess. You're a sport man already too. Well, to a certain degree, but not necessarily at any high level of anything. But yeah, I mean, you kind of just there's some transferable skills to some degree. Also, did own me in football. I don't know if I owned you in football. Did I? I'm not so sure about that. When was that? That was uh wait, that was last year? I can't remember when that was. I mean, Jesse was there. Well, maybe it might have been 2 years ago now. Wait, it wasn't Baltimore. Wait, where was? Wait, what tournament was it? I can't remember when that was. No Scrabble has ever been significantly better than me in any sport. Wow. We need to get you to a pickleball court then. Apparently, pickleball might be in the Olympics in the next one or the year after that. Well, not the year after, the edition after that. 2023. 2032. I think they said something about the criteria for being being in the Olympics or something, or new sport being in the Olympics. It has to be played like widespread over 5 continents. And the weird thing I heard was that it needs to be widespread in 5 continents amongst men, but must be played widespread in 4 continents for women. I guess there are some continents that are a little bit behind. You know, with women not being allowed to do things, which is completely wrong. But you know, we're slowly getting there. This is why Padel isn't in yet. Wow, you know, yeah, I guess Padel is is still getting bigger, but I think these kind of paddle sports will get bigger eventually, and will be in the Olympics eventually as well. Just need a bit more time, just a bit more time. That's all it needs. But yeah, we'll see. Randy Goldberg and climbing, yeah, she's like, but yeah, she's coaching somebody, a climber who's actually in the Olympics right now, I believe. I think Padel bigger than pickleball at the moment. Yeah, I think probably worldwide it probably is slightly bigger, but I think pickleball is going to be. I mean, I don't know if pickleball maybe more. I think pickleball is probably a bit more like accessible because you can just create a court anywhere. And then with Padel, you kind of need all of this stuff around you, right? You need to be in a box. Where pickleball, you can just draw. You can basically, it's just basically like just putting like tape on the floor, on like a tennis court or indoor gym or something, and you can just start playing. Yeah, exactly. You just put some tape down. That's all. Every single gym I've went to has just like a tape down. They just measured it out, put a tape down, and that's it. You're done. You're ready to go. And yeah, people do it in a garage. Like, I know some places here where like they have like just opened like a warehouse and they just put lines down and then it's done. Yeah, exactly. That's probably the most biggest reason why pickleball is growing so much, because like you don't have to have a tennis court where it's like 5 times or almost 3 times the size of one pickleball court. Is also much smaller. The court is much smaller. It takes up less space. More people can play, and you can play indoors and outdoors. I'm sorry. Okay, there's an ad break. Okay. I'm trying to. Yeah, I guess I'm dragging out the stream a bit longer than I need to. Okay. All right, guys. It's time. Have a good weekend, everyone. We've talked about enough stuff, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the analysis stream. Again, go ahead and follow my channel if you haven't already, and you can subscribe. You might also get 3 months of Apple, whatever it is, if you subscribe as well. So go ahead and do that. But yeah, have a good weekend, everyone, and I'll chat to you on Tuesday. See you later. Bye bye.